Well, hello everybody, and we are here to play a little bit of the good old Mass the New Generation in a little game that we like to call Teen Justice Academy. This is the second, typically for every issue, because it's like a comic book, every issue we have 3 sessions. This is the second of 3 sessions for the 7th issue, I think. Stuff has happened. Stuff's going to continue happening. This is our underwater adventures kind of one, because Raichi had a conflict and was not able to be here, and Raichi doesn't like the underwater as a person. So now Spectre as a character doesn't like the underwater, but I don't care about making Spectre uncomfortable. I don't want players to have a hard time. So we're doing underwater adventures. That'll be fun. Cool. Hey, what's going on with all of our different characters? Speaking of Tough, how's Tough doing? Oh, sorry. Speaking of Spectre Tough, how is Spectre doing? Why is she not freaking out now that she's diving into the depths of the sea?
Sometimes all it takes is like a really cute girl coming up and flirting up a storm, just making you feel better, and like you have to prove yourself and not get freaked out by the fact that you're underwater, but it'll be fine. So yeah, doing great. Was unconscious for most of last episode, which was probably a good thing, because otherwise probably would have tried to run away. Yep, doing great. And I'm Tough, 90 Tough Love, also on Twitch at 90 Tough Love. I don't do things anywhere else. So there you go. How's Tilly doing?
Tilly's doing fine. She's a little stressed out from the fight. It was a little challenging. She got kidnapped during it. Deadlock came and saved her. Her friends were unconscious on the beach. Deadlock wouldn't tell them anything, so it kind of prolonged the situation maybe a bit longer than it needed to have been. But that's fine. Now they're going underwater, definitely not to save Deadlock's family or anything from some sort of bad guy, pretty sure.
You have no idea.
Yeah, they said some things.
Okay.
They said some things.
Okay.
But, listen, Tilly's not going to say anything about it.
Okay.
It's a big secret. We keep those.
That's true.
I'm Misha _lesson3 here on Twitch, or at Misha Weha at Twitter or Tumblr. That's it from me. How's our new yet the same friend Ren doing?
Ren's doing great. She's as spicy as ever. Extremely jealous of these Atlanteans who are trying to steal her girl. She changed playbooks, and is now rebelling, kind of, sort of, but not in the same way as Deadlock is, towards Aegis and everything, more specifically her boss, who can suck a big fat egg. But yeah, she's on her way under the water and not at all emotional or emotionally unstable or breaking down or anything like that. Actually, how's it going with Devin and Deadlock?
Oh, she's pissed. I mean, she has the condition angry, but she's just generally angry all the time these days. She found out her family has been alive this whole time after thinking they died. It's somehow her fault, but apparently they've been alive and just in hiding this whole time, and that's why Impact took her in, because he made a promise to her family, I guess, to watch over her. Still a little fuzzy on that, but as she was confronting Impact, he got called away, and then this whole thing happened, so now she's going far into the sea with these people who apparently need someone with her exact power set. And they have a threat where they have someone that has her little sister's power set. Sure, it's just coincidence.
Yeah. It's only the rarest power among supers on Earth, and perhaps in the galaxy. You never know. So there's probably a couple hundred people. It has nothing to do with your missing sister. So cool. So yeah, you are in the very large Kamara Condon vessel. I definitely suggest that Ren call them Atlanteans to their face multiple times. That'll go really well. But yeah, so you are in in the princess's basically very large sort of biomechanoid squid-like vessel flanked by 4 other smaller like attack craft. You did some fun stuff last time. You declared war on them accidentally by messing with their bioelectronics. And then Deadlock overreacted and was a little jerkball for a long
I
time.
will say I think I reacted appropriately to my friend being
Okay,
kidnapped.
yes. You reacted appropriately at first and then just kept on reacting.
Because they didn't want to say sorry.
Because that's
Entitled bunch of
how
Atlanteans.
the world works. Yeah, a superior civilization with superior technology and a bunch
If they
of
were
adults.
superior, they would have been smart enough to contact somebody that they were, instead of just coming up on the beach when they said so themselves. They have not interacted with us often.
Yes. Fun
Professor
fact,
Odd was busy.
it's true. Fun fact, with the potential exception of Centurion Katila, also known to her friends as Katie, all these people are adults. And although the civilizations diverged more than 6,000 years ago, the fact that adults don't tend to apologize to teenagers for no reason is consistent on the surface and under the waves.
Which is crazy when they're begging you for help.
And they all have influence over you unless you can find a mechanical way to remove it, because they're adults. And Katila for sure has influence over Spectre because she's cute. Cool. So Spectre, what you doing?
Staying as far away from any windows as I can, but getting like an interior tour with Katie.
Yes.
That's fun.
She will lead you. This thing has 4 decks, only 2 of which are like where people would normally spend time. There's like biomechanical stuff kind of at the top deck and the bottom deck. But the 2 middle decks it's like quarters and like a gym and like a little lounge. There's people playing music. Now that they are not, and even when they were in combat, they were fairly kind of like, why are we doing this? They seem to be a relatively peaceful people and relatively open and friendly. As you are being led through the ship, I think a number of folks are very curious. Like particularly, the fact that your fingers are all separate.
Yeah. Look, I can do this.
And I'm sure some of them think that that's really interesting. I mean, you're detecting a little bit of like maybe there's a little bit of not great feeling about surface dwellers in general, which was hinted at, I think, in the conversations that you had. However, people are nice to your face, at least.
That's all that matters. Yes. Probably don't care that much anymore.
Yeah, and Katie's just leading you around. What are you saying? What are you saying or doing?
I mean, gosh, I guess I want to know a little bit more about like your culture, Katie. Like, do you guys like all have powers? Like, or are you just like this?
Well, so we're different than your people.
Got that.
In that all of us have powers, but they're almost always exactly the same powers.
So it doesn't like change between?
No, it's all mostly like ability to survive underwater and ability to communicate with each other and the creatures of the deep. Some of us do have other powers, like the princess. I think you made it. Oh no, you were unconscious. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
The princess has the ability to actually control the ocean itself.
Oh.
And that's not super, it's not super uncommon, but it's also not super common.
Hmm.
But
I
I
guess
mean, if you think about it, if we're going to live under the ocean, we probably all better have a 100% chance of being born with the ability to survive. And then the other stuff is just like, icing on top.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess it's kind of somewhat similar to the surface in that not everybody has powers, but also you can adapt to, be crime fighting people or normal people. Depends on where you go. So, I mean, I was kind of not awake for most of what was going on, but like, what exactly is happening that you guys need us for?
Well, so I don't necessarily know all of it. There's some situation going on in the royal family. Like particularly with the prince. He's not super happy. So like mostly princes in our world are like super happy to just like relax and be, pampered and things like that. And the current prince kind of like maybe wants a little bit more influence than he should have.
Power struggles.
Well, a little bit. I mean, 6,000 years of civilization have taught us that men are good for some things, but like making decisions is not one of them.
Oh, yeah, you guys got that one right.
Yeah. So typically princes are meant to just like be pretty and stuff and smart and like maybe write books or something. And or be diplomatic or other things, but like we don't let them close to like actual affairs of state. But he has other ideas. So there's been a little bit of tension on that front. But what I do know is that there's some threat in the depth, something to do with imminent threat to Kamarakanda, and we're the front line of defense as usual. I mean, I know that you people think that you're constantly inundated with like weird alien invasions and multidimensional rifts and supervillain conspiracies and stuff like that. It's like, you realize how much of this planet is land versus how much of it is ocean. Most of that stuff actually happens in the ocean. We are usually pretty busy protecting this planet. So as is usual, we are the front line of defense for the world. But we don't have anyone with the requisite power set. So we were going to call the people that we know, but they're all like busy or weird or off planet or something.
Excuses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Been there. Cool.
It's also a little weird that the people that we know that we could call on are indisposed. Like maybe that's part of the plan.
Yeah, that feels really, really familiar. And like that's happened before with us. Where there was something else that was distracting from the big thing that was actually going on. And then the entire planet almost got taken over by like aliens that were brainwashing people. It was pretty, it was fun. Yeah.
It's kind of like the way things always happen.
Yeah.
So, hey, so what's up with your friend Deadlock?
Which part?
The whole thing, basically.
Well, see, she was pretty much raised by this guy called Impact, and he was not a great parental figure, I guess. But then it turns out that he's actually my dad, but my mom's
cool.
like a villain, and they fought each other, but then they also got together. It was weird. Anyways, I didn't find out. Yeah, it wasn't something that I heard. Whatever. But anyways, I kind of kept it a secret, and then it blew up, and then Deadlock was mad at Impact for lying to her, which totally makes sense. And then we went through this multi-dimensional time rift, found out that Devin had a family and like a little sister, and then that all got ripped away from her. So I think she's just got some issues.
Oh, okay. So she's not usually this way, is what you're trying to say.
I think she's maybe a little bit angrier than she was before,
Okay.
but still pretty similar.
I mean, it's fine. No offense, but we don't expect surface dwellers to be like super civilized. So it's not like we're not prepared for bad manners.
Man, was she really that bad?
Oh, yeah. It was just like, hey, no, we're not trying to attack you. It's like, no, you must apologize to me. It's like, who are you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I get it.
I mean,
But,
some of
yeah.
it is, look, I get it. It's really like everyone always thinks they're the center of everything. But like when you grow up in the center of everything, like in some like really major ways, and everything else is just like kind of like an afterthought, then I don't know, maybe we get too comfortable. I don't know. Look, I'm not a philosopher. I'm not paid to think about this stuff.
Oh, God, okay, great, because I don't. Moral philosophy really just hurts my brain.
Yeah.
Cool.
So do you have a girlfriend?
No, I don't. Do you have a girlfriend or boyfriend or then
No.
friend? Oh, cool. Is there like a cafeteria on this ship? You want
Yeah.
to get something to eat? Yeah.
Sure.
Cool. Great.
Arm in arm, and she'll lead you off to
Yes.
the
Not
little bistro.
Yes.
Little music playing. It's very nice.
Perfect.
Cool. What is Tilly doing?
She's probably, I don't know where they'd have them hang out, but she's probably in a room. But she's doing the thing where your leg is nervously twitching, except it's going way too fast, so it's causing a lot of vibrations on the ship. Someone's probably noticed at some point, but she's just thinking.
Yeah. There's probably like a bloop sound that reverberates through the ship. And I will say, Captain Shahara will come over and say, you're stressing out the ship.
What? Oh, I'm sorry.
They're
And
very
Tilly will-
sensitive to like vibration and stuff.
Oh, that's neat. Is it alive?
Sort of.
Hmm.
It's not a really useful distinction. Most of our technology is grown as much as it is manufactured. We, unlike the surface, I was going to say you're a people, but clearly you are a superior entity, and not entirely of this earth, if I don't miss my guess. Unlike the surface dwellers, we arrived at a perfect balance with the environment thousands of years ago. And, digging into the seafloor to manufacture, to refine metals and other minerals, and then releasing toxins into the environment and, wrecking everything just so we can have a few little bits of technology is so inefficient. And it's not particularly sustainable. So maybe the people on the surface will learn that one day. Who knows? So tell me about
Maybe.
you.
Oh, I'm Tilder, or Tilly. I'm a tactical light defense robot created by Light-Tech Industries as the government, to help support the people of Halcyon City and keep them safe.
That's nice. And but you're like totally independent, right?
Well, yeah.
Okay. And like, so you're not their servant or something, are you?
No.
Good. We are not about that. I'm just saying, I mean, based on the limited experience we have, typically surface dwellers will assign some other type of entity as less than them and then make them do all the risky stuff. And so it's like, oh, they've got robots. Are they, but but it's good to know. So you're like a full member of your little team, right?
Yeah.
That's good. Do you know anything about Kamarakonda?
No.
Would you like to?
Yes.
I wonder if you could interface with one of our knowledge crystals.
Likely.
Well, here, let me go. And she'll snap her fingers and someone will go and grab something. And it comes back. It's a little, it's very similar to those kind of spindles that are suspended in their tridents. But this one's kind of it glows kind of a goldeny color, but it doesn't glow like really bright like those spindles. But it looks like it's kind of a similar material. It's a complex 4-dimensional data matrix.
Yeah, okay.
So here. It's
take it.
just basic history, nothing super sensitive, but it should help you. And if you have the ability to access it, it should enable you to, fit in better once we get there. Is there anything I can do for you?
Oh. No, this is plenty. Thank you.
Okay, great. What is Ren doing?
Well, Deadlock would have definitely wanted to check in on Ren.
Okay, so what are
because they
Deadlock
were
and
passed
Ren
out,
doing?
and also want to know what happened on the beach while they were doing underwater stuff.
Yep.
Ren is probably standing near a window, looking out into the darkness that is the underwater ocean. No, she is definitely not stalking Spectre. She is keeping her distance for right now because she knows that Val is hiding somewhere in the very middle of the ship, away from anything that can be pressurized to drown her. But yeah, she's just kind of, standing in a hallway, looking out a window or something.
And you were staring out into inky blackness.
Yeah, that's fine.
But then
that's good for dissociating.
A Kumarakondan man will kind of walk by you and register you, but then be very polite and not call attention, and then kind of backtrack a little bit and go, can you see outside?
No.
Would you like to be able to?
What does that entail?
Here. And he'll just kind of run his hand along a little ridge of who knows what it is, maybe metal or some other kind of substance. And the porthole itself will shimmer and take on a ever so slightly translucent, like it's completely clear. It gets a little translucent. But suddenly what you see outside is this kind of kaleidoscopic, full color, sort of streaming, swirling interplay of colors in the darkness. It looks like you're seeing some sort of visualization of temperature, salinity, currents. There are these kind of greenish blue sort of swirls that seem to represent plankton or other microscopic life. Occasionally you'll see a bright kind of pink flash as some larger fish or some other kind of creature is picked up. It's almost like infrared, only very, very high resolution, and you're seeing a lot of information. Now you can see the way our vessel sees. It's much more interesting this way.
Yeah.
Right. And he'll just move along.
And she's just gonna go back to now watching pretty colors while dissociating.
Yes. Deadlock was looking for you, I believe.
Yeah. Hey, Fade.
It's Ren. Just Ren.
Oh. No new code name? Just going by your
Just
actual
Ren.
name?
It how can I be a superhero with a super name if I don't know who I am? So it's just Ren.
I think you're going a little deep. I mean, the code name's just to protect your secret identity.
I mean, I don't. I've ran around the city without my mask on before. I don't have a secret identity. At this point, I don't need one.
Don't know about that. What is Aegis gonna think about that?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I had to give instruction to my child.
Aegis, what is Aegis gonna think about that?
I don't care what they think.
Okay, well,
They did
if they're
something without my
upset, it might
permission.
pay to operate under a secret identity.
No, because they'll find me one way or another. So it honestly it doesn't matter at this point. To
Okay,
them,
well,
I'm nothing.
we're gonna work
more-
on that defeatist attitude a little bit later. But first, what the hell happened on the beach? When we got there, you guys were passed out, knocked out.
That's a good question. I would love to know what happened on the beach. I was unconscious. Stuff.
You-
They said. I don't know. It
Waiting further instruction.
In case you don't recall, you jetted your way on top of the larger vessel, and then got blasted a couple of times. And then you woke up to some lovely Kamara Kondons waving this kind of pink stone over you, and you felt completely better.
I darted away from you, but tried to stay, within range so that you could use my abilities still. I ended up on the beach. Everything went black. Then everything became pink. Then there were the
Kamara Kondons.
yeah, them. It was that's pretty much all I remember. I
So they just blasted you immediately when you came out of the water.
kind of like sunk into the sand, but then everything went black. So yeah, they I no sooner got out of the water and I was unconscious.
Cool. So, yeah. I was just curious because they're acting like they're the victims somehow in that whole
I don't
situation, how
trust
that
them.
went down.
I don't trust them. There's
No,
something
I mean,
really
They've given us no reason to trust them, but
yeah. But they make me feel uncomfortable and I can't put my finger on why.
well, they did knock you guys unconscious and see absolutely no problem with just knocking people unconscious. They were just like, oh, well, we fine.
It's more than that. There's just
We got
know what
off
it
on the
is.
wrong foot would be an understatement, but their attitude
Absolutely.
is also just incredibly entitled.
They're
I don't like
holier than thou attitude. I'm
Yeah.
over it.
It's very anti-surface dweller, but then also begging for our help. It's fine. I'll put up with it because supposedly this threat threatens the world. So
Are
fine.
you going to be
And
able
also-
to bite your tongue hard enough to keep from lashing out at them, though?
well, at the end of the day, they need the help, right? So
I mean, you could hold
I
that.
think
in
even
mind.
if I were to lash out, which I already have, and I don't think they're used to people questioning how they operate. Different culture, you're going to have some friction points there. But
Yeah.
The
I
two
just-
of you hear a familiar laugh coming from a chamber relatively nearby. Sounds like Spectre.
is that Spectre? I thought she'd be freaking out. I was going to check on her next, but I didn't know where she was.
I think Tilly probably hears it too because of your extremely acute auditory sensors.
Can I read the crystal?
Yeah, that's probably going to be, it could be unleash or it could be assess, your choice.
I'll go with unleash.
Okay.
Due to guilt reasons. And
Oh.
then I got a 13 on unleash.
Oh yeah. So you have to do a deep scan and then kind of design a interface. But your nanites are more than capable of creating the appropriate interface. And in fact, I'm going to say you create a little socket that you can plug this into, because it's going to be awkward holding it in your hand. It's, it's only about yay big, but you can plug it in. And it's almost, think of it like a hard drive that you now have have access to. There is, however, kind of an ongoing decoding that's required. So you don't have the same sort of instantaneous access that you would to your own native memory. But we'll say that you have access to a really extensive database on at least the surface level of Kamara Khandan history. You can access very sort of low res or kind of high level sort of schematics or map of the city of Kamara Khanda. It is vast. Halcyon City is one of the largest cities in the world. It is 10 times the size of Halcyon City. It is significantly larger than any surface city has ever been in the history of the world. And it appears to be extremely orderly, very, very clean, and filled with, I don't know, 50 million, 75 million Kamara Khandans. And it is the hub of a network of smaller settlements. And, there's plenty of Kamara Khandan individuals that just kind of live out in the depths, farming kelp or whatever. But this is the city state, basically. It's the totality of their civilization, and everything else that exists is kind of subservient to it. It is a matriarchal monarchy.
That tracks.
So
I'll just have this crystal on my shoulder as I go over to Deadlock and Ren. Yeah.
And mechanically, that means that you can, as long as it's the sort of like Wikipedia level information, you can just ask questions.
Okay.
And it gives me the opportunity, as long as you have it, gives me the opportunity to tell you things that you would know. All right. You run into Deadlock and Ren, who I assume were heading in the same direction outside this sort of central lounge. Spectre, Katie and some of her friends have been teaching you a Kamara Khandan dance.
Oh God.
It's a little harder because typically it's done underwater. So, and they keep saying, it's like, oh, well, you have wait until we'll take you out to one of our clubs, because like when like the water's at the right temperature and salinity, you can really like get those spins going. But it's actually really fun. It's, but mostly they're just kind of swaying you back and forth and spinning you around, and just kind of like, it's almost like a medieval sort of circle dance, but they're mostly just like spinning you and flinging you and picking you up and swirling you and twirling you. And it's a little bit disorienting, but it's also fun. And they're obviously having a really good time. It is very distracting from the fact that there are tons per square inch of pressure of water 15 feet above your head.
Yeah, I need this.
Yeah, well, at the moment, you're mostly thinking about how all these lovely people are having a good time. And this is the scene that you guys walk in to see.
See, I thought it would be a good idea to have her hang out with all of these very attractive people to distract her.
Yeah.
I think it's working. She seems very relaxed.
Looks like it, yeah. I mean, I was
hi,
gonna
guys.
talk to her about what happened, but
Or you can do whatever you want.
Maybe-
I think a couple of
I
Kamarkandas
worry of disturbing her in this moment.
I
And
think a couple of
suddenly
Kamarkandas will
bring it
see
all
you
crashing.
and walk over and say, "Oh, want to come join?"
I'm good. Thank you, though.
It's really fun. You guys should try it.
Ren is just forcing a smile.
Ren, do you need to go to the bathroom?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I can join you,
Yes.
says Tilly. I can figure out dancing. This is easy, right?
Yeah. Let's see. I think
you thought you were gonna be able to just do it, huh?
I think I want this to be just, I mean, you can dance. I'm just wondering how well you are. I think I want this to be an assess.
Okay. I love doing that. I feel super guilty about everything right now. Oh no.
Feel too guilty about everything right now.
Too guilty. What is this? Superior? Nah, I ain't assessing anything. 2.
So yeah,
First
I
doing
mean,
the robot.
a lot of it has to do with like reading the intent of the various different dancers and they're just kind of it's very much like traditional dancing where if someone else is leading, you have to follow, and a lot of that's just kind of intuiting and reading small subtle signs of where it is they want you to go and what move they're about to make. You fully engage your analytic mind trying to suss out like specific patterns, and you're super analyzing it, and the result being that you're just no fun. You're gonna stand there, you're a lot heavier than they expect you to be. They kind of slow down. It's like, oh no, you have to do like this, and they'll teach you one motion, and then you just kind of want to repeat that motion. And they're like, what motion is next? It's like, oh, it's not like a logical sequence. It's like water. It ebbs and flows and swirls and twirls. You kind of got to go with it, and going with it is not really your jam, especially when you feel super guilty. So the good news is that they are now very focused on trying to help Tilly be in the moment and not just kind of stand there in their little dance floor.
Stand. Wiggle once. All right, what's next?
Yes. And who's going to the bathroom?
No, Inspector just
I was
asked if
making
Ren
fun of
needed
Ren
to
for
use the
pulling a
bathroom
face.
because-
Yeah, it was the forced smile. Ren's not going to the bathroom. She's just standing there quietly.
Yeah.
She's
So-
just got
so-
things in her mind.
So Spectre's going to the bathroom. I thought someone said they were going to the bathroom.
No,
No.
Spectre said, Ren, do you have to go to the bathroom because Ren was putting on a fake smile. The joke of like, oh, you look like you have to pee or go to the bathroom or something.
Got it.
Why do you want us to go to the bathroom so bad?
No, I thought I heard someone say they were going to the
Oh,
bathroom.
it's nice. I mean, it's a little weird, but
Major
Uh-oh.
Bane Spectre, you have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Just because deadlock. Because deadlock. I'm like, fine then.
Okay, yeah, Katie, can you put me down for just a minute? Sorry, where's the bathroom?
Oh, there's one right over there.
Okay, then I'll run over there.
Okay, you come up to a door or another one of these little seams in the wall. And you're like standing there. And she said, oh, just like rub your hand over that spot. See where those three kind of lines converge? Just kind of rub your hand on that spot. yelling over the music. You do. You do. You step into a dark room, and then bioluminescence kind of rises from the floor to the ceiling, and you are in a large, transparent bubble with the shell of this creature / vehicle, and then the ocean. And there's a variety of weird, like, tubes and funnels and stuff in here. You're not quite sure how it all is meant to work.
You know, just
I think you need to take a powerful blow.
Oh, 9? Yeah, that seems appropriate. Um, I think for Spectre, she needs to put on a brave face so that she can walk back out there for Katie. So we're gonna mark 2 conditions and struggle past the pain.
Okay.
But we'll be insecure and afraid again, because yeah.
And,
Great.
yes, and then as soon as you step out, Katie will go, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even think about that." And then she'll glide over in your direction. She'll wave her hand on something on the surface, and the thing will become immediately opaque. And then she'll say, "I also should probably show you how it works." So she will show you. So she will show you how it works.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. It's fine. I'm fine. Doing great.
Yeah. We usually go to the bathroom in groups.
Oh. Yeah. Sometimes we do too, but I wasn't sure how your bathrooms work.
Yeah. I hear that you people just kind of do your business in a hole in the ground.
I don't think we've done that well, I guess when you go camping, but that's when you're not in civilization.
Oh. Well, how do you?
Plumbing. Indoor plumbing.
Oh, that's right. In civilized places, you do your business in water and then flush it into the ocean. That's right. I think we learned that like in class.
Yeah. I don't know how exactly it works. That's just how we do.
It's another one of the reasons we don't come near the surface very often.
I really don't blame you. I wish we weren't disgusting.
Yeah. Well, you're nice.
Oh, thanks. You're nice too.
Thanks. Okay, well, here's the she'll show you. And I will say that you learn that they are anatomically human, at least to a large degree.
Good to know.
So, cool. What else is happening? So Tilly's being a stick in the mud on the dance floor. Anything else happening? Anything else going on?
It's like the cafeteria, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ren's gonna mosey over, I guess, to kind of like look at food options.
Yeah. You have no idea what any of it is.
She's gonna ask someone, can you translate what all of this is?
They will say words to you, but the words don't really have any meaning, and then they will attempt to explain. Mostly what it appears to be is some sort of biomechanically processed plant matter, but that creates a huge variety of flavors and textures.
Tilly has noticed Ren getting food and that there's food here. And now she's like, "Excuse me," from the dance floor, and is straight to the food and says, "Don't worry, Ren. We'll just try one of everything."
Yes.
For science.
Yes.
And we'll
She's
proceed
very
to-
sheepishly going to ask, "Do you have coffee?"
They look at you like you're crazy. Like, what?
Something with caffeine in it.
What's that?
I
What
tell them the
caffeine?
molecular
Plant on the
structure.
surface that gives beans, and you take the beans, you grind them up, you roast them, then you grind them up, then you add them to water, and it gives you a delicious brown liquid, which is really good with milk and sugar.
Why?
It's okay.
Sounds gross.
It helps you stay awake, I've been told.
Oh, like
I
a
mean,
drug.
caffeine isn't exclusive to coffee.
Yeah.
So like a drug. So you're asking if we
Yeah.
have, well, we don't have drugs down here.
Oh, that's silly.
Drugs are an impediment to the smooth functioning of society.
Well, you'll find something that's tastes like it, probably, Ren.
Red is gonna be
If you think
very
about
quiet again, and then she's just gonna slink back to a wall. She is no longer hungry.
if you think about things like booze and even to some degree coffee, if it weren't for the psychoactive effect, would you ever drink it? Probably not. So yeah, and
Yes, because I have ADHD and caffeine doesn't do anything for me. I actually enjoy the taste of coffee.
Okay. So
I mean, I eat chocolate. That has caffeine.
well, yeah, but chocolate's sweet and fat, and where our bodies are designed to want sweet and fat for fast energy. But anyway, so Tilly is trying everything, and everything is super duper delicious. There's like a weird kind of spicy noodle. There's like a cross between like tapioca and boba. And each of the little individual bobas has a different kind of fruity floral flavor in it. So like the first time you put a bunch in your mouth and chomp, and it's like just way too much. And then one of them will say, oh no, pop them one by one. And you get this like little, like nice little sequence of flavors that are all complementary. It's like they're telling a little culinary story in your mouth.
I mean, if Ren wants to sit at the table, I'll describe all the things to her to select what she wants. But if she's lurking by the wall, I'll just be like, so good.
Deadlock will want to know because we're gonna probably be here for a while and gonna have to
Oh, yeah.
survive off of this stuff.
I'll
Can't just go without eating into a
describe
fight.
them all.
It's super delicious. Some is sweet, some is salty, some is sour, some is umami, some is hot, and all kinds of combinations. Like there's like sweet and hot and sour and umami and things like that. Some of which are a bit of a acquired taste, but a lot of them are actually very pleasing to your palate. And they go down nice. Cool. So what's happening?
Oh, so I have this they gave me this crystal that's full of like basic information about where we're going. So here's the city, and I'll do a display of like vaguely the city for mostly for Deadlock and Ren if she's paying attention, and Spectre if she ever leaves the bathroom. Or doesn't get sucked into dancing again right away. But describing, as you were saying, like the size of the city and so on, and other interesting facts. So if Deadlock has any questions, I could probably answer them as well.
I have many questions.
Well, you should ask. The Kamar Khandans are very intrigued and enchanted by your hard light abilities. Because I think this is the first time they've seen you, or many of the first time these individuals have seen you use them.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like Deadlock has questions.
Well, really, I just
Ren
want
is
a
going
quick
to-
brief of the more important stuff. Like
Ren
highlight.
is paying attention. She'll join them at the table. Because I'm fairly certain that when all the bodies start piling up around Tilly, she's going to need to, wedge her way in there and sit down.
Well, let's see. The current regent of Kamar Khanda is Queen Sulina. She has ruled for just shy of 300 years. She is one in a long line of extremely wise, intelligent, patient, and civic-minded rulers, tracing back to antiquity. Her daughter, Princess Celicia, you have met. She is on board. This is actually her ship. It is somewhat unusual for a member of the royal family to be so far from Kumarakanda, but that just speaks to how important their mission is. And you know that Celicia is the presumptive heir, but Kumarakanda is a bit of a constitutional monarchy in that the rule of whatever it would be, it's like primogeniture, but with ladies, that is often followed, but not necessarily. You have to be accepted by the populace. Celicia is quite popular and almost certain to be the next queen when her mother decides to step down, but that's probably another 100 years in the future. So right now she is busy learning statecraft. But again, it's not unheard of for a member, even a quote unquote commoner, to ascend to the throne if they demonstrate the right kind of skills and mentality. You know that Prince Kazan, as was mentioned to Spectre, is a bit of a hothead, a bit of a rabble rouser, who is not well loved among the populace, except for maybe a small contingent of other people who are like-minded. But he seems to want to be viewed with a degree of respect that his actions have not earned him. He tends to kind of want to lord some imaginary influence over people. He's not necessarily the nicest to regular folks. He has what they would say in Kumarakanda surface manners, which is not a good thing. But
it kind of just sounds like he's demonstrating the same stuff we've seen from all of them, but
sure. But no, yeah, he's a little bit of a troublemaker, but has no real power. And what else? The kingdom has been at peace for 6,000 years. It has had, there have been a number of what you were told before about the kind of constant state of incursions, alien invasions, the old ones trying to crawl up through cracks in the depths of the ocean's floor. I mean, they deal with the same sort of problems that the surface deals with in terms of the sorts of challenges and disasters that require heroes to deal with, but they are effectively a nation of heroes. And they typically are able to resolve such problems relatively easily, leaving things like, alien invasions that only affect the surface and stuff like that to the surface dwellers. They tend not to feel like they need to get involved too much in the surface dwellers' problems. So that's an overview. If you have any specific questions, you can certainly answer them.
is there anything specifically on our mission or what this threat is?
No.
Or
This is only generic history stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. It's like 6,000 years worth of boring history, Wikipedia articles.
Yeah. The history prior to them moving their civilization underneath the ocean is very, very vague. It seems to be a bit more mythological and is very much focused on the fact that they were driven from the surface by the surface dwellers. And there's a little bit of the best revenge is living well kind of throughout the history. It's like they didn't like us because we were weird. They didn't like us because we were intellectuals and scientists and scholars and had a very enlightened kind of system. So fine, we'll just go underwater and live better than the rest of y'all. And that attitude very much pervades not just the history, but many of the interactions you've had. To be clear, they're not rude to any of you, but there's a little bit of something in these are the people who were like, we're too good. You need to go live in the ocean. They're like, fine. And how's that turning out for you on the surface? Not great. Meanwhile, we're doing fantastic down here.
It turns out most surface dwellers have forgotten about them.
Yeah.
We don't know. It's not like we were the ones that actively drew them into the ocean, but they have that prejudice of, oh, this happened to us thousands of years ago. It's your fault. You did this to us. No. It's
what comprehensive education will do. Everyone's very aware of the history. But as far as you can tell, there's like no poverty. There's practically no crime. It is a very idealistic sort of society, or idyllic, I guess, sort of society. So, what happens?
Are there any customs or courtesies we need to know about?
There are some rituals of state that are documented in relatively dry fashion. So particularly around accession to the throne, appointment of ministers, things like that. But they seem to be kind of like abbreviated bureaucratic processes. But a lot of even those are just based upon sort of popular will and more or less the consent of the governed. So it's I think that if I had to boil down their political philosophy, it's that moment in a wedding when it's like, hey, if anyone has any reason why this shouldn't happen, you need to speak up now. Like they do a lot of that in their ceremonies of state and in their just general governance. But other than that, they don't seem to be particularly like sticklers for like who you can talk to in a certain way, or like a lot of surface societies that have a very hierarchical kind of lens, and there are certain ways you address, and like some people you can't even show the bottom of your feet to, and like very, very sensitive to status. They seem to be fairly secure in their own status and don't worry about it.
I just mean other stuff too, like, do I have to take my shoes off when going inside? Do I need to wash my hands before going into any building, or things like that?
Yeah, I will say,
is headgear allowed when eating meals or when you're going indoors, or?
So I think the learning that Deadlock gets is that so many of those are concepts that just don't apply. Like no one wears shoes, and like you live in the ocean, so there's no washing hands. And people eat what they want to eat,
That's
you know.
Gross. Yeah.
Well, it's like, or you're constantly washing your hands, I suppose.
It's not the same. I wouldn't dunk my hands in salt water and call them clean. But
Maybe they just have superpowers that just like exudes water from their hands that's clean, so it's not covered in any of the ocean poop water.
Yeah.
A bunch of fish here and yeah.
Well, they do have, like you can see in the schematic, there are these very, very large sort of structures that are effectively biomechanical purifiers. And there is a similar kind of network, but it's almost like a capillary network that takes any kind of waste or toxin and processes it. So it is, they live in a very pristine environment. But yeah. No, just don't be a jerk is the basic rule.
Ooh, that's going to be a tough
I feel
one
like they
for
broke
Deadlock.
their own rule, but yeah.
Yeah, Tilly summarizes. So if you're just generally polite, it'll be fine.
But you can say what you think. People don't get mad at you for saying what you think, as long as it's smart and well reasoned. And if it's not well reasoned, they'll just argue it and expect you to go, okay, that's right.
I feel like I was pretty reasonable with our reaction to them kidnapping you, but
yeah, it's fine. So, anything else? I want to give you time to acclimate, explore, uncover secrets and mysteries. Spectre, you're done peeing at this point.
Yeah, I figure I'm probably back at this point.
An alarmingly long amount of time in the bathroom.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to having to do that.
Oh, I can
Oh.
show you how the bathrooms work.
Yeah.
That's
It's
in
actually
this.
they're not as
Yes.
confusing as you think that they'd be. There's a bit of a learning curve though. Oh.
But they have a bidet.
It's like a cross between an astronaut toilet and a bidet. So, all right. Anything else happening?
Did we want to talk with the princess more about the thing, or did she not really want to talk to us until we get there?
I feel like
Oh.
it would have be smart to give us a brief while we're on the way there, but it seems like they're not interested in telling us anything until we get there. I feel like it would save time, but maybe it's a classification issue. I don't know.
Hey, why don't you assess then, Deadlock?
That's a 4. Plus superior. Where is my? Oh, 2, 4, 5, 6.
Are you happy with a 6? We have two team. We have 2 team and a minor boon.
I feel like I'm getting this weird hint.
No, I'm just
to
saying
bump up
a 6 is a
my
6
roll.
and won't get you
I
anything.
will use a minor boon.
Okay. What question do you ask?
Whoops, I messed it. I mean, none of these questions are really applicable.
We can make them work.
Oh, you already used the minor boon. Okay. What here is the biggest threat, I guess?
All right. You think back, it's like, oh, it would make sense if they would take the time to brief us and give us a bunch of information. There is, although you are in this area and people are just kind of like laughing and enjoying or relaxing or whatever, you do pick up a general sense of urgency. And particularly the people that are on duty or otherwise, like when you were in the cockpit or the command center, there was a real sense of focus. And I mean, you don't have a lot of frame of reference, maybe they're just that way, but as you had a chance to observe those that are not on duty, you just come away with the impression that they are operating very quickly and cautiously. There is a sense of threat, not to you from them, but they are acting like people who are running, trying to avoid, or very concerned about a potential threat. So maybe let's stop and talk about all this stuff is not quite top of mind for them.
That seems weird. Like, what, they got a skeleton crew that there's not a briefing team that can't step away? Everyone's actively working the ship?
You and your surface preconceptions.
I mean, it just doesn't really. They're all working the ship. Nobody can give a brief.
There's plenty of people who are not actively working, but you do get the sense from your conversations that many of the crew don't have the deets that you're looking for.
Right, they don't have the need to know.
Yeah,
that makes sense. But it doesn't make sense why we're not just being brought into the, like, if we're expected to be in this, why we're not just in the operations center getting stuff as it comes in.
Maybe the one person who knows all the stuff is busy using their hydrokinesis powers. I was a little distracted.
Seems like an oversight to have one person. That's a single point of failure, but
possible. So
princesses do what they want, man.
Right. So anything else needs to happen before the next thing happens?
I'm good vibing. We have a whole history book to just poke around in, so that seems exciting for Tilly.
Okay, so you guys will spend some time in the lounge, take turns learning how the restroom works. Sometimes, SJ, how dare you? Sometimes, I mean, it revealed that there's a threat. SJ,
I thought we already knew there
for
was a
those,
threat.
well, they're behaving as if
always-
there is an imminent threat, not like there's some threat at the destination.
Gotcha.
So, anyway, for those on YouTube later, I can see what people drop in chat, and Chad's like, "Oh, I learned that." It's fine. It's fine. SJ is just embodying deadlock at the moment. It's fine. Cool. So, yeah, there's a series of chimes, maybe a couple of hours into, learning some things and trying out different food, learning how the bathroom works, making new friends. Mostly, Spectre, Katie Katie has taken upon herself to be your personal ambassador.
I got an emotional support Comic-Con.
Yes, especially now that she feels very guilty about sending you to the bathroom without thinking about the impact to you. She's telling you about her favorite foods and about her childhood, and she's feeding you the little boba things, and you're doing a little bit of a Lady and the Tramp with one of these spicy noodle things. So, yeah, it's real gross for the people who are not directly involved.
Is there something to help Spectre and Ren survive the pressure?
You're asking one of the Kamara Kanjans? Or are you asking
Yes.
Tilly?
Yeah, ask Tilly. Like, is there, because I assume we're going quite a few fathoms deep into the ocean.
We are currently several fathoms deep into the ocean, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that could kill people
100%.
that aren't Kamara Kondans.
100%.
Yeah.
Just curious how that's working.
There are significant portions of Kamara Kanda itself that are actually air. The Kamara Kandans can operate very effectively in water, but they're more, what's the word? Amphibious in that, but they do need to spend time in both.
I wonder how much of a toll it takes on them to go to the surface. Pressure-wise. Because, like, astronauts in space, they have to go through a whole process, too, because they get from the
They have
shifts in gravity
mutant,
and everything.
yeah, they have mutant powers. They don't have to worry about it too much. It takes more of a psychological toll than a physical toll.
Gotcha.
So yes, now, and I think either Shahara or Celicia mentioned that they can accommodate Spectre and Ren. You should be able to basically mimic the powers, the requisite powers of anyone, of any Kamara Kanda nearby to survive. Tilly doesn't need anything. And they made vague mention to being able to accommodate Spectre and Ren as needed.
Well, what about an emergency? Like, if something gets blown on the side of the ship?
Who knows?
It's like,
We'll die.
I can handle emergencies.
Oh yeah, we'll just get Tilly to make a hamster ball.
that's not the physics. It's fine. I'm sure Tilly will.
Comic book
know what
logic,
to
it's
do.
fine.
Hey, Proxima. All right. So, cool. All right. So, chimes. The lighting changes. It flickers a couple of times. And then you hear a little bit of chatter from some of the people that are in the lounge. They seem to be a little surprised.
What's that?
Yeah, what's happening?
Oh,
Do you have
we're-
any idea what that is, Tilly?
It was a chime.
Katie, what's happening?
Thanks.
okay. Was we must be making really good time. We're about to enter one of the transit conduits.
What does that mean?
Oh, well, throughout the world's oceans, we have a network of transit conduits that allow us to travel much, much faster. I mean, if we were going to where we were going, it would take us at this speed like a month to get there. And obviously, we can't maintain a globe spanning civilization traveling at this speed. Of course, I mean, you're moving fast, but not that fast. Also, going hundreds and thousands of miles an hour underwater is energy intensive because of drag.
Yeah. So do we need to like brace or something?
No, it should be fine.
Okay.
It's just to let people know. Do you want to watch? You sure?
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to watch?
I would like to watch.
All right.
Ren's also going to watch.
Yeah, sure.
Fine.
Okay, so
I'll go.
You don't have to. Tilly can always record it and show it to you later if you don't.
Yeah, it'll
Feel
probably
comfortable.
just be worse. That's fine.
she will lead you into a forward observation little bubble. It's really just about big enough for all of you to stand shoulder to shoulder. It's not quite large. It's below the kind of command center area where you were before. And it gives you a view forward and also down. It currently has that kind of visual overlay on. So you're seeing a whole lot of streaming of different color and salinity past you. She'll turn that off. And for a moment, the entire little room gets completely black. And then you see deep below you this little ribbon of like neon blue glowing from the depths. And as you descend, you realize you are moving at a very fast rate. As soon as you get close enough to realize that this is a really massive kind of construction, you are barreling extremely quickly toward it. As you get close, you can see these, it's almost like massive versions of those tridents or bidents that they carry. And there's that same kind of force and occasional little spark. But instead of holding a single prism in the center, it's holding this roughly tubular area of force. Little dapplings of light, occasional sparks and ripples play upon its surface. Who would like to unleash their powers to extend their senses?
Probably Tilly.
Me!
I love. Oh no, not. That seems dangerous, Ren.
I mean, it just kind of happens, you know?
What special senses do you have as the bull?
Don't I still have my abilities from being a soldier?
You have the powers of the bull. You have the experience and training.
Okay, well then don't worry about me.
I mean, anyone can extend their senses. They don't have to have special senses.
No, I'm good.
I'm gonna stem my senses.
All right. Roll it up.
What is this move?
This is Unleash.
Okay, cool. 11.
Ooh. So you have been studying a bit about and absorbing just through your direct kind of sensor scans. You understand a bit more about how their technology works. But you have a very different kind of set of sensory systems than they do. There's a lot of this is sonic based. They do very well at scanning up close for the types of variations in their environment that one would expect. But there's a lot of stuff that like they don't like. Sensing things in the electromagnetic spectrum is not really part of their jam. And or if it is, it's mostly in areas where they're trying to detect the presence of certain types of very large animals that might give off their own electric field. And there are easier ways to detect those things, like with sonar.
Mhm.
So you are uniquely able to detect that there is some very large object. Describe this scene. So you're descending into this underwater canyon, basically. There are a series of fumaroles, most of which are no longer active, but it creates almost this forest of trees sort of look with this slightly glowing blue tunnel running down the center of the deepest part. And it creates this kind of eerie fairy forest under the water view. And kind of over to the side, up along one of the sides of this canyon, you are picking up with your sensors some very, very large object that does not read to you as part of the landscape, and in fact is moving independently, very slowly, but it is moving independently. None of the overlay that you're able to detect from the kind of porthole, or no information that you're able to pick up from the ship or its sensors is registering it.
All right. I guess I'll turn to Katie and be all like, hey, I'm picking up a very large, slow-moving object at the top of that canyon. Is that a normal thing?
Oh, like a whale or something? We're a little bit deep for whales.
Bigger.
Huh. She will go over and run her hand across a couple of touch-sensitive strips, and that same overlay will come. And she'll look over and you'll point in the direction, and she'll say, "No, I don't see anything."
Well, it's definitely there.
You like interface with the ship, Tilly, and see if you can get it to display what you're saying, or show us a hard light or something.
Yes, I can do one of those things. I'm going to try interfacing with the ship, see if I can make the ship pick up on where this is.
Okay.
Hacking the systems again.
Yes.
My favorite thing.
Yes.
I'm in.
I think this is assess.
Okay.
But it uses your hacky power. Don't you have a hacky power for assessing?
I do about computer systems.
This applies.
Okay. Where I get a single follow-up question, which is good because I got 5.
Okay. But you get your follow-up question even if you fail?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes. So I will fail that. And
it's hard because it seems like the ship is taking a nap. Like its biomechanical systems are kind of like winding down a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel alarming to you. It feels like that's probably a natural part of the process of moving into one of these transit corridors. But there's not a lot of like it's literally going to sleep as you try to access it.
Okay. Tilly's just like frowns in frustration of this sleepy technology. But then what here's the biggest threat, I think, is the question to ask.
Yes. The multi-tentacled creature / vessel that is just now breaking its way out of the cloud of ink that it was hiding in. You see red light glowing through this cloud, like very, very dim. And then as it moves close to the surface, you realize that this object that you were detecting that was drifting slowly was actually a giant cloud of particulate. And as the red light comes out, there's this very sleek, angry looking vessel of similar design, but it is very black. And it has kind of a crazed pattern of red glow that zigzags over its surface and pulses in somewhat mesmerizing patterns. it makes it difficult in the visual spectrum to really get a sense of exactly how big this thing is and exactly where it is. But you have plenty of sensors at your disposal, and you can tell this thing is slowly slipping out of its hiding place and then beginning to pick up speed, moving in your direction. You see a number of smaller objects disgorged from it that kind of float free and then begin shooting forward like darts. What do you do?
It's that, I say, pointing at the thing appearing on the screen.
She says, "Oh no," and then makes some other sound that is probably a little painful to your ears. And you can hear all the rest of the Kamarikandans responding to that kind of alarm sound. The ship shudders, and then immediately it's almost like a wall of ocean hits it from the side, because that's exactly what happens. The whole thing is kind of thrown over to the side. Off course, you all are jostled. No need to take a powerful blow yet. But yes. What do you do?
It looks like Spectre is freaking out. It's probably fine.
Yeah, I'm probably running back towards the middle deck because I don't want to see. Nope, this sucks. Screw this. Why did we do this? I should have stayed on land. I should have gone home. I should have taken a nap. Should have done anything else.
What do you do?
Are they? So everyone on the ship is reacting, but I presume most of them aren't saying anything because they all
they're
just
everyone, even the people who were like having such a wonderful time, kind of dancing and hanging out, immediately spring to attention and just head to their stations.
Right. Well, it seems like a time to assess the situation. I'm very good at this.
Mm-hmm.
About what we should be doing, but if someone else wants to,
maybe someone who isn't horribly guilty at the moment.
Yeah, maybe someone who isn't horribly guilty at the moment should assess the situation. Maybe someone who feels superior as well.
Yeah.
Suppose I can assess the situation.
I mean, you could not.
6, 4, 10. So that's a 10. 12, because I have 2 superior.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this is an ambush. It's an ambush by, just based on the size of the vessel, potentially a superior force. And the immediate reaction was almost certainly the princess's, as soon as she realized what was happening, was probably her hydrokinesis. That moved the ship, your ship off course, or changed its course. But based on what Tilly told you, many of the systems on the ship, and as you see people running around, you don't know precisely what they're doing. It looks like they're trying to kind of wake the ship back up, because it was going into like a low power mode or the equivalent for the transit. They're trying to get the systems back online, and right now she is dodging something with hydrokinesis.
Okay, I will communicate that. Of like, under attack looks like an ambush from a larger force. I would suggest getting Spectre and Ren towards the middle of the ship.
On it.
Spectre's already there. She ran so quickly. I've never seen someone.
The minute that it jostled, Ren was booking it with Val.
It turns out my new superpower is actually super speed, developed under stress.
Right. So you're heading back to the bistro?
That vicinity, yeah.
Because it's in the middle of the ship. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Is anyone else doing anything different?
Tilly, we should probably go with them to protect them just in case something happens.
Oh, I thought we should wake up the ship more.
How can we wake up the ship?
I don't know, yelling at it? I can try yelling at it.
I think they're probably more experts in that area, unless there's some interface thing you can do. But can you do that from the middle of the ship?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Okay.
And
I'm not going to do anything. I'm just saying.
Thing has nerve fibers that run throughout its entire
Yeah,
They
we'll
didn't
go
give
to the
Spectre
middle
or
of the
Ren
ship.
anything to survive this deep underwater should the ship be compromised. So I would say we need to focus on them.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
Spectre
we all go to the middle of the ship.
goes to the middle of the ship. Ren goes to the middle of the ship. Deadlock and Tilter. And you're just going to wait. See what happens.
I'm going to try to wake up the ship.
Okay, cool. Provoke.
Yeah. Hey, ship. Could you just not?
Should you awake, please?
Could you wake up? Oh gosh. I'm
That's good, huh?
I'm going to use a major boon just because, if I roll high enough, maybe it won't be a complete failure. Hey, the dice listened to me and I rolled a 12, so that's an 11.
Ooh. Fantastic. Yeah.
So they rise to the bait and do what you want.
Yes. And the
so
ship
I
is
guess
an
it's just-
object, but it's also in some ways an NPC.
Yeah.
So you're asking for the ship to wake up. And I will say you form some sort of neural interface with the vessel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can directly perceive what it's perceiving. And
fun.
I'm going to say you probably input some of your nanites into its
Just a few nanites. It'll be fine.
I mean just to act
Now
as,
the ship can taste things.
yeah, right, just to act as carriers of your instructions into its like a lymphatic system, but that also carries information and instruction. So you're assimilating it. So good. Resistance is indeed futile. But you now have at least you now have at least partial control of this vessel. And it is rapidly awakening in a way that is like you can feel the whole ship, which has seemed very rigid this entire time. You can feel it bend in a way that doesn't seem like super good. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's being damaged by it, but it's bending in a way that it hasn't bent before, and it's somewhat disconcerting because it seems a little bit more like being inside a giant creature than it has up to this point. And there is a low kind of sound as it kind of acknowledges your interface. What do you want to do? And second volley of these sharp dart-like objects are moments away.
Time to do a barrel roll.
All right.
Dodging.
What do we think that is?
I don't know what this is.
Defend?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Gosh, I got a lot of conditions.
Maybe unleash.
I
Yeah.
love unleash. Unleash sounds great.
Sure.
That's a 10.
Okay. Yes. Although this vessel is significantly larger than its escorts, it is now fully awake and a little powered up by your nanites. And it is able to dodge more nimbly than you would have thought and avoid being struck by these dart-like projectiles. 2 of the escort ships, however, are struck. You can pick up the communication from those ships. Those darts inject some sort of toxin. And immediately those vessels begin to shut down.
Okay. For fun visuals of this, I think that Tilly has gone in there and y'all are just hanging out and she's like,
yeah,
there's probably like some council. She's like just interfacing with it. And it's like part of the ship's probably like growing over the fingers for fun. And then maybe there's like a screen that has little dots on it so they can see the situation because why not?
You can just project one.
Yeah. Projecting the situation. And I'm like, I have access to the ship. I can see what's going on. It seems like the incoming darts inject a poison. Spectre, the ship is somewhat alive. So if you could clear the poison if it gets hit, that'd probably be for the best.
Yeah.
Can you show a map of where the princess is in the ship? Maybe I can help augment her hydrokinesis powers or something.
She's
Yeah, she's
1 deck above you and 1 chamber forward.
Okay. You guys stay close to Tilly though, in case something happens, so she can keep you
All right.
safe. All right. I'm gonna head that direction.
Okay.
You run up. The princess is. Is this your doing?
Of course not. We're on the ship.
No, the waking of the ship.
Oh yeah, that was Tilly.
Well done.
We're gonna have Spectre attempt to heal it. She can usually heal people, and since it's organic, maybe she'll have some effect on it if the whatever those poison darts are.
Yes. If we're struck,
Hit.
we will need every advantage. Good thinking, waking the ship so quickly. I am afraid, however, most of my attention is still needed to guide us and to deflect these as much as I possibly can.
Can I see? Is there like visuals to where I can see where the things are?
Yes. Now that the vessel is out of its ink cloak, it looks a little bit like a cross between a squid and a reaper.
No. Okay.
For those of you who are Mass Effect fans, it's a little bit like a reaper.
To make that awful sound too, we're like, ah.
Yeah. You're and then its tentacles open up and then fires another volley.
Okay, so I can see them now, so I'm gonna try to borrow her hydrokinesis.
All right.
We'll see how well it goes.
Yes, we will see how well it goes. So we've got Deadlock helping to defend with hydrokinesis. We've got Tilly looking to dodge. We've got Spectre maybe giving this thing a little bit of extra goose for health.
Yeah.
What is Ren doing?
I'm not sure. I was left in the middle, I guess. The cafeteria.
You're still with me and Tilly.
Yeah.
Wait, does she have a
Okay.
different power set now?
She's
Technically,
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about because
You're
the
the bull.
bull technically doesn't have any powers. It's just
No,
I punch
they-
things
well,
real good.
No, they do. It's just you're very good at one specific thing.
yeah, you're superhumanly tough, incredibly strong, uniquely skilled at fighting. Describe how each of these abilities manifest. So it could be that you're
Energy blast
still
still.
good at fighting because you energy blast,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
But it does entirely change them. Like you don't keep the powers of the Harbinger and also the Soldier and also the Bull. They are your identity changes and therefore your powers change along with. But
Okay.
you are tough and strong and fight well.
Okay. I mean, I don't know what she's going to do. She's doing help where she can.
Are there any social abilities that you have that could be helpful to your friends?
Like maybe your love.
Actually, yes, that probably would help, wouldn't it?
Maybe.
Depending on which of your roles that you picked.
Like if there's a way that you could clear a condition for your love, that might help them. And we're taking a moment because this is the first time any of us have ever really seen the bull in action. So it's okay for us to explore this. Take a moment to explore this and figure out the best way to make it work.
Choose a role that commonly fulfills your love of rival. Okay, let's see. You comfort or support your level rival, mark a potential on a hit. When you
Yeah, which what role do you commonly fulfill? Is it listener, enabler, defender, or friend?
I mean, This class is so confusing.
Is enabler in the context of like, it's like
When you
military
provoke
terms,
your
an
love
enabler
or
is
your
someone
rival, roll plus danger if you're trying to provoke them
Yeah.
to...
The enabler makes people make bad decisions and do crazy stuff.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Is it's like enabler a bad thing, or is it like military term enabler?
I mean, it can be not a great thing. Or a good thing, right? But it's more like I am very rash and impulsive, and I'm trying to get other people to be rash and impulsive. The listener is more about tuning in to your friend and or rival to get more info on them, to get to know them better. Defender is very much about just like straight up defending in battle. And friend is very much about growing into yourself and basically getting potential whenever you comfort and support. Regardless of the outcome, you get potential when you comfort or support, or someone or your love or rival comforts and supports you.
I guess for Tilly, at least, it would probably be friend,
and that's the role that you commonly fulfill for your love or rival, and by which I mean
Yes.
whoever it is.
Any of them.
Yeah, the love or rival can change, but the role does not.
If I was to guess for Ren, I would have picked either defender or enabler.
Yeah.
Because you either are going to defend a lot of people, or you're going to be like, no, you should do something else. It's kind of how I would see it.
I'll go with defender. That one makes the most sense for Ren, because she is trying to defend her.
Cool. And it does
friends as best she can.
Yeah, and it does enable you to defend with danger instead of savior, which is good for you because your danger is now very high, or should be very high. Cool, awesome. So yes, all right. So we've resolved that. So back into the action. Ren is very hyper aware for any kind of threat that she needs to defend Tilly or Spectre against. All right. The next volley of these dart-like projectiles are fired from the tentacles of this octopus reaper. So Deadlock, let's see how good you are at defending the ship with the borrowed powers of hydrokinesis.
Oh, I just dropped it.
Deflecting some of these things as they come nearby.
Okay, 5, 3, 8. Is this defend?
Defend.
Okay, good. Because I think my savior is 3, so 8, 9, 10, 11.
And none of your many emotional.
I'm just angry.
Okay, just angry. Okay, cool.
Just angry.
All right. Yes. So combined, the two of you push back and alter the trajectory of many of these darts. Unfortunately, 2 more of your escort vessels are struck. Partly because they are forming a defensive partition and are intentionally sacrificing themselves or putting themselves in danger to protect your vessel. Tilly, many of these were deflected, but not all. I think you probably need to dodge.
We love attempting to dodge. I got a 8 on unleashed powers.
All right. I think I will mandate that it works sort of. It's temporary or unstable. So yes, in that you are able to dodge most. However, there is a sickening thunk that you can feel reverberating throughout the vessel. And you can immediately feel in your sympathy with this vessel creature, you can immediately feel a spreading numbness and coldness on that side.
All right. Try to fix that.
I think your choice, defend or unleash.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go defend.
Yeah.
Whoops. Okay. That's an 8. But yeah, Savior +3. Yeah.
All right. And what is your choice?
I will clear a condition. I think I'm distracted by what's going on, so I'm not as focused on the fear part. It's just going into instinct.
Yes. And so, but you are either exposing yourself to danger or escalating the situation. I think it escalates the situation.
Like,
The projectile that has embedded itself into the skin of this vessel, it's kind of thorn shaped almost, but it has these 3 kind of ridges down each side. The pressure on the hull increases as it opens. And I'm going to say it struck nearby, and this is the first place that they will come. So, Ren, a couple of creatures come running into the room.
Okay.
They are similar in some ways to the Kamar Khandans, except that they don't have hair. They have slightly bulbous, smooth, dappled domes. They have very large black eyes, and we're not sure what their mouth situation is, but covering that area of their face are long, prehensile tentacles.
Ew.
That are pointed in your direction as you are the closest. So what do you do? They look ready to attack. They have jagged swords, but those appear to be their only weapons.
Okay.
That's a lot of time.
See, what do I do? And they look like they're ready to attack. Let's see.
There are 2 of them. There are 2 targets. Who are you defending? You don't have to. I mean, you make a different choice, but based on your prior statement, you were standing ready to defend.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and defend Val.
Oh, so you're not going to defend your love?
No, not at the moment, because Tilly is totally perfectly capable of taking care of herself, whereas Val is probably having a panic attack.
Okay.
actually, Val just cleared a phrase, so she's doing fine.
Right.
I mean, I'm interfacing with the ship, but whatever. It's
And Spectre
fine.
has, regenerative abilities, but it's cool.
No. It's good. It's good.
And who is currently your rival? I forgot.
Katie, right?
Katie?
Yeah, Katie is my rival.
Okay. Cool. All right, so you're going to
Katie's
defend.
a rival, but Tough is not her love, or Spectre is not her love.
Yes.
Right.
So, and we say love and rival just for those that don't. Love makes it sound like it's romantic. It doesn't have to be. It's just, it can be, but it's just that your love is someone that you open up
Care
to
deeply for.
and trust and care about. And your rival is someone that has tried to control you and that you're trying to prove yourself to. All right, so roll to defend Spectre, but please do so with Savior, not Danger.
Okay.
Because she is
That's
neither your
gonna
love. She is neither your love
stop.
nor rival. Therefore, the defender does not come into play.
Also, just real quick, Zodi, you might want to double check your labels because your sum total is somehow 2, and it should have a base of 3.
Yeah.
So one of your labels needs to have a +1 on there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you took the labels from the bowl playbook, you're supposed to add one after.
Yeah.
Inputting.
Okay. I got an 11 with Savior.
Oh, awesome. So you got Well, I can't see your actual stats. Good. So yes, you defend Spectre. Tilly. Take a powerful blow, please.
Will do.
As one of the Cthulhu's just kind of leaps forward and attempts to stab you.
I got a 12.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's almost as bad as it could possibly get. I mean, almost as
Yeah,
good.
pretty much.
Yeah.
I will do the thing where I give ground and I mark 2 conditions, because it's only when you can't mark a condition that you go unconscious.
That's true.
No reason. And they are given an opportunity, as I think I'm definitely impaled. I think that's happening.
Not again.
Yeah, well, the good news is that, I mean, it's not like you have organs.
Yeah, I can reroute my subsystems.
Yeah, so you're perfectly fine. But it does take a moment to reroute around it, so you're momentarily frazzled. I will say that your control of the vessel is also likewise disrupted momentarily. Very well. It will blurble in victory. It's a trap. So cool. What would anyone else like to do? You're now full on. Oh, all right. You have entered combat against a dangerous foe. So that is 2 teams now. Who's the leader?
Deadlock.
Thought it was Tilly.
It's
I would go
a
with
bit
either.
meta.
Either is fine.
Yeah, it's a bit meta.
Deadlock at every chance keeps saying, I am not the leader.
Yeah, and then everybody keeps listening to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is just like, we have to have a leader because some of the questions are about how people follow the leader. So
Leader. Yeah.
To be honest, in many of these cases, I'm going with Deadlock, because we are pulled into this situation because Deadlock is the key to solving this problem.
makes perfect sense.
So that
works for me.
Yeah,
what I'm going with here.
All right. Does Deadlock have influence over every teammate?
I think I'm missing Red.
Nope.
No,
Let me double check.
you're missing me.
Oh, I'm missing Spectre. Yeah.
Okay, so no. Does everyone have the same purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fight these things off and get away?
Yeah.
Does anyone mistrust the leader?
No,
Yeah.
not at the moment.
No.
Is the team ill-prepared or off-balance?
I think we knew they were coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
You knew they were coming, however, you were 20,000
but
leagues
we
under the
did just
sea.
watch Tilly get impaled, so I feel a little
okay.
off
I mean, that's fair. You think me getting impaled means I was off balance?
I would say that being in a totally alien environment with very little sense of what's going on or how to control what you're controlling, and potential certain death for 2 of your members being mere meters away outside the skin of this vessel that's under attack is probably being off balance. Which means that we have 4 team.
Yep.
If memory is correct.
Yup.
Yep. 2, then add 2, then add 1, then -1. Cool. So you have 14 to work. Sorry for that little minor bit of housekeeping, but yes. If someone will own making sure at the top where it says team that we got the 4 documented so you guys can keep track of it. Okay, now, what's happening? Your vessel is under attack. There are now 2 Cthulhu's.
I hate it here.
I love it every time.
It's so good.
Hey, Spectre,
Yeah.
you want to take care of this guy?
Yeah, I do. Really badly. I want to fight him. He just impaled my friend.
It's just a little impaling as a treat.
As a treat. Yeah.
I will say he's having a hard time getting it out because I think they're not used to dealing with robots. and probably aren't
Oh.
used to the fact that your nanites are now attacking and dissolving his blade.
Cool. Hope he's surprised by this roundhouse kick. Like this roundhouse kick to his face. That is a 12.
On a directly engage?
Yes.
Awesome sauce.
I will resist or avoid their blows and create an opportunity for my allies, so I'll give Tilly a chance to get back on her feet after being impaled.
Yeah. You roundhouse kick him. It's really gross. There's a slapping sound as you hit him in the tentacles. They all flap around all just in a gross way. Someone try to wrap around your foot, but you just like yank him. And then he is thrown into the buffet table. He's now covered in boba and spicy noodles. He effectively drops his sword, Tilly, although it's still stuck in you.
Yeah, I'm eating it.
Yeah.
So it'll be gone eventually.
But he
It's
can't
fine.
like yank
She's
you
gonna
around with it.
hard like replicate.
Yes.
Give him a taste of his own medicine.
Oh, Batty in chat has asked, wait a second, where's Nyx? Nyx has been swimming alongside this the entire time, waiting for Deadlock to let them in the airlock. So Nyx is available to call upon at any point because Nyx is a ninja.
Blaster to the front where Deadlock is just like sliding along.
It's canon. Nyx took care of the people on the beach, then pressed a button and a little bubble formed over the little cat head, and then they dove in and have probably had one of those little scuba things with the propellers and have been following along this entire time because Nyx the
Can't get
ninja.
her way into the ship,
I don't know.
especially now that.
Oh, well,
attacks
at some
happen.
point, Tilly probably notices and just opens the door and doesn't
Sure.
tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as
I
Deadlock
wouldn't
decides
know.
to summon Nyx will be there because that's how it always works. Nyx is always hiding somewhere. Because cat. Cool. So yes, you have thrown this one off and is going to take it a moment to extricate itself from this pile of formerly delicious food. Who's next?
Does Ren want to punch somebody? You probably have energy punches now.
Yeah, I think an energy punch would be a good way to go with this. So yeah, that's what she's gonna do. She's gonna punch the one who impaled Tilly, if he's still there. Or no, he's gonna attack the other one because Val just attacked that one.
Yeah.
So Val's dealing with that one. Ren's gonna sucker punch the tentacles right off the other dude's face.
Cool. Yeah, so directly engage. So instead of forming into blasts of energy, that energy just coalesces itself around your fists.
Yes. I like this. I don't like this.
Oh, God.
Let's see, and that is directly engage is
Plus danger.
plus danger. Okay, this might actually. It's gonna be an 8.
All right. Pick one.
Pick one. What? Oh wait.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to resist or avoid their blows.
Okay. So you just step up, glowing energy on your fist, and just punch him. There's not really a jaw, and like as you hit his head, like it deforms and kind of bounces and ripples. Like if that was a surface dweller, you would have broken bone, but this thing is mostly rubbery flesh and cartilage. So it's effective, but maybe not as effective as you were hoping. So yes, it staggers back and it tries to counterattack, and it slashes at you several times with its sword. But you are able to dodge out of the way. But it is still effective in combat.
It's gonna have a momentary, victory because sparring with Deadlock has paid off in some form.
So Tilly or Deadlock?
I'm still doing what I've been doing. I think just trying to use the hydrokinesis to get this stuff away from us.
Okay. The vessel itself is moving ever closer, and you can see it's opening up those tentacles as if it's going to try to grab your ship. And remember, the ship that you're in is quite large. This is quite large. It's not quite large enough that it could pull this ship inside itself, as far as you can tell, but it could certainly wrap those biomechanical tentacles entirely around the ship and potentially crush it if it wanted to.
So yeah, let's just try to keep that mouth closed.
All right. I think, well, your choice of defend or directly engage. Defend is if you're just trying to dodge out of the way and maybe push tentacles around. If, however, you would like to make it less effective as a combatant, you could directly engage.
Yeah, I'll directly engage. And I will use venting frustration.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What is venting frustration? What did that make his? I know I put it somewhere. Oh, okay. So what is the stat? That's what I was about to do. Okay, so I will bump it to a 10.
Excellent. And what are your choices on the directly engage?
Resist and avoid blows.
Yes.
I don't want them hitting us. And then take something from them. I want to make it to where they kind of get like stuck.
Mm-hmm.
The tentacles are kind of stuck and can't move, open.
Yes. Awesome. So while the princess is mostly just trying to effectively create a hydrodynamic shield, and she's very practiced. She's an adult and she's wielding powers, so it's very, very effective. But with that role, you are able to not only augment that ability, but also to create effectively a series of whirlpools, fast spinning balls of water that really just kind of like twist all the tentacles together. And they are flexible, but they are also biomechanical. You could even see some of them are damaged. Like you can see the area where the flexibility of the skin and whatever skeleton or structure is inside is overstressed, and you can see some splits. Very much like these ships, when the hull is breached, there's a little bit of leakage, but you also see sparking of that same red energy. That shimmering kind of veins of light that are somewhat disorienting start to flash in alarm. They were not expecting that. Anything else anyone want to do before the squid boys try to eat your brains?
I want to assess the situation regarding the ship.
Yes.
That we're on. I think I got a 6, but I do get that tech question, I assume.
Yeah.
And that question is like, what here can I use to make the ship go fast? I want to go really fast. We're about to enter a hyper stream thing. Is it bad to do when the ship's awake? Otherwise,
How it is bad to do when the ship is awake.
Yes. Okay.
However, you are in direct connection with the ship. So the answer is, if you can, and it's a complex series of events that need to happen, but you know exactly what needs to happen. You need to effectively flood the chambers so that you sink like a rock and then rapidly, and then nose down, and then just put the ship to sleep, and let gravity pull it into the stream of the transit conduit.
Okay.
You have through maneuvering, you're now above. I mean, you're several hundred meters above, but you are now in a place where if you were to just drop, you would eventually drift into the transit conduit. But you need to basically flood as much as you can possibly flood. It does mean that someone's going to need to do something to make sure that Spectre and Ren don't die.
Cool.
Because you're pretty much just going to have to flood the ship.
Flood the ship. All right. Can I do that quickly? All of this quickly? Like fast enough, like with this gap here? All right. I'm going to say I'm going to flood the ship to them. So
Spectre is totally fine with this, I'm sure.
I'm going to flood the ship. Let's see. You'd either need to get them to borrow you powers or something or whatever they do. Or I put a bubble up. Listen, I'm not too sure if I'm probably going to explode is what actually is going to happen here because I am on the edge.
I can hear the sirens coming for you.
They're coming for me right now.
You guys made
All
backup
right,
characters, right?
Yeah. It's fine. Listen, the best way to do this, I think, is to use my Nova ability. This will solve all of my problems at once. Or I explode.
Or
all right, we got 8 plus 5 is 13. So I'm golden.
Yeah. So all the burn.
I got all the burn. So what I'm going to use this burn for, one, moat around Spectre and Ren to protect them from the water that is happening right now. And I'll use the rest of it to get a 10 plus when I unleash my powers in order to quickly flood and drop the ship. But I'm assuming Deadlock needs to buy us a little more time while we're doing this.
Yeah.
So,
and I will say, obviously, the moat is also between you and
the two guys there.
Yeah. So the first thing that happens is the one Cthulhu stands up out of the mess of the buffet. The other one has been chasing after Ren. Ren moves in close, and then this wall of hard light comes up. They smash their faces up against it, and then the tentacles splay out all around it. It's really gross. It makes this disgusting sucking noise. There's a little beak in there that's like trying to chew away at the hard light. Of course they can't. But it looks like they're trying to eat it like the world's largest gobstopper. It's not super attractive. And then, you use the rest to get a 10 plus. Are you communicating this?
I think I can. I bet I can communicate over the ship, especially to like they can just hear. I'm taking it down. Is probably what I'm saying, or like we're going down.
It's like
we're yelling timber.
Thank you so much for flying Tilly Airlines water lines in the event of a water landing. But I think you can. I think Tilly's very pleasant voice echoes through the interior speakers, saying, "Prepare to flood the interior chambers in 5."
Oh, you can just set off the sirens again, right?
Yeah, and then
the lights,
bing bong chimes, enough that everyone understands what's going to happen. But I assume you'd want to announce it in some way so that Deadlock, who doesn't know what the chimes mean.
Yes.
So Deadlock, you hear Tilly saying that she's flooding the ship. What do you do?
Oh, good. Okay. Is that ship thing still coming for us?
You have done a very good job. You have out-princessed the princess in terms of taking. I mean, it's not a wreck in the water, but it is going to take it a moment to get untangled. So it does not, and because the tentacles themselves are the things that fire these darts, it's not a threat to you at the moment.
Okay.
I believe in say that the one remaining escort ship that hadn't been hit, you see it just straight line into the massive tentacles.
Oh,
And
like
there-
it rammed it?
Yeah, and then there's a
Oh.
it knocks
Well,
it even
that's
further
intense.
off course.
Okay. So should I just help hydrokinesis guide us to the thing?
It's probably a good idea.
We'll do that.
Let's say there's enough ability to communicate between the two of you that Tilly is able to convey that you need to go straight down as quickly as possible.
Okay. Well, that's a 10 plus. Wait, unleash is freak, right?
Yeah.
Oh, +1, so 11.
Awesome. The princess is a little confused because all this is happening very, very quickly. And the coordination is happening in shorthand English communication between Tilly and Deadlock, which she can
Yeah, and I just inherently trust Tilly. I
Yeah.
know she's made some calculations and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, all right, cool.
she can understand what you're saying, but she's not like a native speaker and she really isn't super clear on what's happening. So as she's kind of looking, she hears all this going on. She looks at you in confusion, then just sees you wield her powers and then just like pull the ocean down. This very dramatic kind of moment as you pull, and we see outside this massive column of seawater just form above you and push on the nose of this vessel. And immediately it just dives really, really fast. You can see this shimmering conduit below you getting closer and closer and closer and closer. And you probably hear Tilly say, ease off, ease off. You do masterfully. And then just before you are entering into the tunnel, the princess says something about, but the ship isn't asleep. All the lights go down as the ship goes into its sleep mode, and you slip into this transit conduit and are immediately caught up at enormous speed. You're all kind of thrown back. There's probably a little bit of kind of bouncing around within this because you entered at a weird angle and probably a much higher speed than was intended. So there's a few moments of turbulence and the Star Trek, whoa, back and forth situation. But within 5-10 seconds, everything is fine, except that there are two Cthulhu's that are trying to still kill Tilly, Spectre, and Red.
And I think as a part of the ship going to sleep, Tilly has to drop the shield. Well, no, because they're breathing water, the air.
Yeah.
I need to keep it. I'm
keeping
probably
them from
losing
drowning.
connection to the ship at that point because I need to focus on the shield.
Yeah, you no longer have a connection to the ship, but the ship is in
It's
sleepy time. But
Tilly's
you are
sleepy.
But you are
But I gotta
very
keep the
focused
shield
on
up.
keeping the shield up so that and I didn't mention, but obviously all the vents open, the whole area floods. A Deadlock, I assume that you are doing something about that so you don't die immediately.
Yeah.
I think because you
Absolutely.
rolled really well, what the princess saw was as you were wielding that hydrokinesis, you were also siphoning in some of her just native mutant ability, and your skin changes, you grow gills, you grow little webbing between your fingers. So by the time your exercise of the hydrokinesis is done and the chamber fills, that same nictitating membrane closes over your eyes, and now you are indistinguishable from a Kumarakandan. And the princess is extremely impressed with you. Like extremely impressed. You can tell on her face, and you can tell from the kind of psychic sonic communication that she's like, props. But like for real though. She's a Deadlock fan now. So what's happening down in the buffet area?
We bubble.
We're just having a bad time. I'm having a bad time.
Look, we'll fix you, Tilly. Hang on. I gotta fight these other guys first.
Do you want them to come in as a death match?
Round one. Fight.
I don't think we want that.
I'll probably check it and too. Be like, are you guys good? Is Spectre and Ren alive?
We didn't
We're-
drown.
In a bubble. If
Just
she
making
lets
sure.
go of the bubble, we're hit straight.
Yeah, it's kind of probably taking most of Tilly's focus.
Is there like a eject pod or something, that you guys can get into that can like get the water out that you guys can breathable air or
The ship sleepy. Bad guys here.
Well, you could try. It's very risky. But you could try to vent this room into the conduit. Basically just open up a piece of the hull and and then pressurize this room with air and basically push them in the water out. It is risky because if you mess up, things could go bad.
This seems like a great idea to very tired Tilly, actually.
I mean, you can do the math.
We'll
It's
just-
entirely possible.
I mean, it's possible. I could just vent them out. It'll be fine. I probably won't vent you guys out.
Is there anything
It's fine.
Spectre and Ren would like to do to help Tilly?
Boy, if you'd like to give me some comfort or support
Yeah.
in this time,
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
trying time.
Tilly,
Maybe someone who has chosen Tilly as their love could comfort and support you.
well,
Tilly?
I'll
I
use
believe in you.
the white lies move.
You
Oh.
have gotten us out of some serious pinches before. This is a serious pinch. I believe in you. I believe that you will do exactly what you set your mind to. You're good like that. You're really, really good like that. And she's saying all of this trying to be, a cheerleader. She's even got her little blast
Little energy punches, this like pump.
yeah, her little energy punches. They're energy pom poms right now.
Okay.
She's like, you can do it. I believe in you.
Give me a T, give me an I, give me an L, and another L, and a Y. What does that spell?
it'd be
Tilly.
easier just to do TLDR.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's totally, trying to boost her spirits. At the same time, she's also trying to low-key comfort and support Val because this is a situation where Val is probably having a shit fit.
Val has many other things on her mind at the moment. So you're gonna need to roll plus mundane, Ren. What's Spectre doing? Is Spectre doing white lies?
Yeah. So also simultaneous comfort and support from Spectre of telling Tilly what Tilly wants to hear right now, which is, you're gonna do great. You're not going to eject us into the ocean, which I'm terrified of. I believe in you, Tilly.
That's a 13.
Oh my.
Wow.
Oh no.
We have all sorts of things.
I got a 6.
I mean, 1 is fine because all I need is unleashed powers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but it's probably a good idea. Because if you take a powerful blow and then need to take 2, you're screwed.
Listen, I'm going to explode at some point. So
Yeah. So I
It's
think
fine.
Spectre
Just
is
one.
worth, like, especially if that was like a 5 and a 1 or something, it's worth it to use a major boon to see if you can kick it up to at least a.
Yeah, we've got 5. I'll re-roll it. It was a 2 and a 1, so it was
Oh
not.
god. Yeah.
It was bad all
it was
around.
pretty bad. It was a pretty bad one.
Okay, that's much better. That's a 10.
All right.
All right,
So
we'll get to the opening up
yes,
after we
we
deal
can do
with
that.
the
We can do that.
horrible
Yes,
crimes.
yes. But right now you have 2 very successful comfort and supports. I
right.
assume you would like to
Remove some conditions,
yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not hopeless anymore. And I'm
And
not
as
afraid.
Spectre and Ren, you may choose to clear a condition yourselves or add team to the pool.
I'll add team to the pool. I don't have any conditions.
Okay.
I feel less insecure.
Yes.
Cool. I unleash my powers to try to flood the chamber. I
Yes.
got a 10.
Beautiful. See, it was fine.
It was fine because I didn't have a -2.
It would have been an 8, except that you got comfort. So sometimes your most important superpower is just being nice to each other and supportive.
Yeah.
Yes. So with the confidence of your friends, both yammering at you excitedly at the same time, yelling at you, overlapping, but it's still she can completely decipher all that. You draw confidence and you open up an although the ship is asleep, it will still respond like via reflex. And you just kind of tell part of the wall that it's time to open up. It does. And then you start pumping atmosphere into this room. And yes, indeed, the Cthulhu's are ejected. They were kind of badly beat up, but there's this very dramatic scene as they're just like clawing their way across the floor and they're holding on to the edges. And then just as the last bit of gush of water is replaced by air and that it's starting to blow out the side, they're blown back. We see a scene of them kind of bouncing from side to side and then eventually are tumbled out and into the deep ocean itself. And then you close the wall and drop your moat. And you guys can breathe again.
Cool. I didn't want to tell you guys that had like a 32% success chance, but it seemed it went great.
Yeah. Ren's gonna run over and just hug Tilly and be like, "You did great! You did really great!"
Thank you, Ren.
Yeah, that was great. That's great. Super great. Everything's great. Are we safe? Are they done?
We are traveling probably faster than they can go.
Oh yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Ugh, okay.
This is like faster than the fastest bullet train fast.
The problem's been dealt with. Deadlock. Everything is fine. I have air here in this middle chamber, so you'll have to ask for depressurization in between. We'll have to do an airlock thing if you want to come in. I don't know. Or you just kind of ooze through.
Think of it like a little bit of a permeable force field. You can see in the arched opening into this communal chamber, there's the shimmering of the water.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Deadlock?
I probably asked the princess, do you need my help up here, or?
She will bow. She will touch her forehead and she will bow to you. And she will say, "You have done well. Thank you. See to your friends. We have everything under control here."
Cool. Powers are no joke. I will go off towards Tilda, Inspector, and Ren.
So what Tilly, Spectre, and Ren see is a figure swim very elegantly towards this shimmering and then step through, and it's Deadlock. But it's Deadlock as a Kamara Khandan.
Whoa. Oh, I guess that makes sense if they're just powers, huh?
Oh, that would explain why the whole power suppression tended to be bad.
Yeah.
So you guys good? No injuries or anything? If not, we should probably go around the ship and check on other people. Spectre's
Tilly
powers
does
can come in
have
handy.
a sword and a hole still in her
Yeah,
sword in it.
Is that?
I can try to fix that. Can you fix that?
I can probably fix this.
Okay.
I pull it out and it's like part of it's been digested. It's like I was eating it. It has a weird flavor.
Ooh,
But the nanites were. I don't think it's typically edible, but it was there. So
It's actually organic.
Did you just invent a new kind of seafood called sword sheet? And Bridge just gonna see herself away.
Tilly, I need that sword.
No, that same opening opens up and then Ren is sucked out into the conduit as well. now that you have a chance to like focus on what was happening, your nanites were just doing what your nanites do. It is significantly more corroded than you would have expected if it had been like metal or manufactured. But the more you look at it, it looks like it's some sort of tooth or spine. And as organic matter, your nanites were able to dissolve it much more quickly.
Tilly,
Yes.
Tilly, can I have it?
Yes, you may.
Yes. That's so cool.
It's definitely made of organic material.
Yes.
I think it's similar to how the ship works.
I don't know. That's cool.
I assume those are just rival sea dwellers?
Is there nothing in your
Oh
history
yeah, my
thing they
crystal
gave you?
thing. I'm sure that's fine.
Seems like a pretty crucial piece of information they left out.
There is no reference at all to any of that. Anything that even seems remotely similar.
Well, they did just say it was about their history.
Yeah. And it's the part of the
They've
history
never
that they...
come into contact with this other underwater species?
This is the part of the history where everything looks pretty utopian.
Yeah, it's the part of the history that would be under like a state-sponsored version of Wikipedia. There's probably stuff that isn't mentioned. So yes, you are able to repair yourself quite easily, Tilly. You're able to see to, and it's probably only just a few. Is there anything that needs to happen before other people show up? Any conversation, scene, or actions that need to happen before you are no longer alone?
Tilly, how you doing after all that? You seemed a little out of it towards the end there. You're muted.
Yes, and quite. It was a common problem after a stressful situation where you just turn off your voice for a second. It was very stressful. I haven't really interfaced with a ship like that to begin with. It's kind of alive, but it's more like base processes, you know? But it's like I was the ship also. So it's a little distressing when well, I guess the ship was stabbed and then I also was stabbed. So maybe it was just sort of a...
Yeah, that seems like a bad, horribly awful coincidence that you both got impaled-ish.
Tilly, I would say now that you have a moment to think, this is effectively an organic virtual intelligence. It's similar to the kind of VI routines that you're familiar with, as a not fully AI, but the sort of virtual intelligence kind of systems management software that's highly adaptive and predictive. It's like that, but it's organic.
Yeah, so it's interesting and useful, but very stressful situation.
Are you doing any better? Like, are you good? Do we need to, like, whip up some more food, or...
No, I think I'm doing fine now. Thank you. I feel like your encouragement and your encouragement, Ren, were exactly what I needed to handle the situation.
Hey, that's what friends are for.
Glad I could help.
Good job, team. Spectre, let's do
What?
a lab.
Sorry, what? That was tough, not processing. what she
Oh,
said.
let's do a lab.
Oh, yeah, cool.
In case there's any injured, we can
Heal them up.
use your powers.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the rest of the ship is in water.
Oh,
I probably have
Maybe
enough
they
room.
could
yeah.
maybe they
goes
could
to-
lap
oh.
here.
Start walking like, yeah, we would just set up like med bay here.
Okay,
and then
you stay
come to
here.
us.
I will go around. I think within the ship, I'll have enough range to pull from you.
Yeah. So you are, there is a repair crew. They have closed the kind of 3 pieces of this probe and are like working out, and they've got those kind of pink stones that are sealing the bulkhead. But yeah, you're able to. The good thing is that by adopting that kind of core set of Kamara Khandun powers, it doesn't take concentration because it's all entirely passive. So it's almost like a shapeshift. Once you're there, you don't have to worry about like maintaining this type of concentration that you do like when you're trying to steal Rin's powers.
Right. Nice.
So yeah, you can help by borrowing some of Spectre's healing abilities to clear up at least to heal the organic portion. That pink energy field also seems to deal with the mechanical portions as well.
Well, I was thinking more like Kamara Condens that might have gotten thrown around or something.
Sure. Yeah.
Or hit by, attacked or anything.
Easy enough. And you see Katie swim by, and she kind of psychically and also kind of bloops at you. Is Spectre okay?
Yep, she's in the center food area. If anyone's injured, she can help.
Awesome, thank you. And she'll swim desperately in that direction. Yeah, there are a few people that have bumps and bruises that you're able to cure. And I will say that word has gotten round about your performance, Deadlock. And the Kamara Condens are deferential. In as much as they're ever deferential. I mean, even with the princess there, they're not like, oh, princess, but there's a very different kind of change. There's clear respect in that you risked yourself, not just that you risked yourself to save them because you were also in danger, but that your facility for wielding their powers. And you get a sense that you were told that the hydrokinesis is a rare power. Sometimes often associated with royalty. So there's a little bit of that. Ooh, who's she?
Meanwhile, Deadlock in the back of her head is like, oh my god, I'm so glad I didn't crush the ship or something. I had no idea what I was doing. I'm so glad that worked out.
Right? Katie will come bursting through the wall of water and will rush over and throw herself into Spectre's arms. Are you okay? Come sit down.
Absolutely.
And she will check you all over and stroke your hair and put your head in her lap and say, oh, tell me everything that happened. Are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. It was cool, kicked a couple guys in the face and healed the ship. So, we were all right. Minus the water flooding, that sucked.
Yes. Oh, we almost lost you. I think
it's tragic.
I think it's time that we make sure. I think you have officially taken your place as a hero of our people, as well as a hero of your own. And as a result, I think we should bestow upon you the greatest gift that we have to offer surface dwellers.
Yeah?
Yes. Well, and then she'll say, the second greatest gift. But she will pull a little, it's not actually a clamshell, but it's stylized to look like a clamshell, but some sort of container out of her toga and open it up. And inside are two, at first you think they're crystal prisms like you've seen before, but they're actually little stoppered vials. This is the Shuhor Alera. You might translate that as mermaid's kiss. It's not a great translation.
I mean, I don't mind it, but
But with this gift, you can swim and walk amongst us freely. She will hand one to you and hand one to Ren.
Cool. Do I just drink it or? Okay. Bottoms up.
Is
Ren?
it permanent?
No. What is given can be taken back. So act right.
So it's permanent until it's not.
It is a gift to protect you, to give you free reign in our city, and a representation of our welcoming of you to our city and civilization.
Red, it would be really rude to not accept it. Like, it's fine. I drank it. I'm not dead.
Yes.
You're good.
I mean, the choice is yours. You can do what you want, but
Yeah,
it would kind of be
I'm-
surface manners to refuse this greatest gift that we can ever bestow upon a surface dweller.
I'm not
your friend is kind of
rejecting
weird.
it. I'm just asking questions about it.
Is she the one that you said that you went out with?
I don't have to worry about that.
She's like, I can see why it didn't work out. I mean, I'm sure you're great, but
Anyways.
Red is just gonna kind of glare and drink her gift,
There you
and
go.
she's going to bite her tongue until it bleeds so damn hard.
okay. Spectre.
Well, now I just feel awkward, so
You're picking up some of the boba that's spilled on the floor and just like,
yeah, I'm just kind of like, yep. Anyways,
it's like, are these
Thanks for the
raisins?
gift.
They taste like raisins.
So, Katie, what were the things that attacked us?
They are abominations. They are outcasts, warped by the Thonians. You know about the Thonians. You know about the Thonians, right?
No.
The civilization inside the earth. The hollow layer of the earth where there's an ancient evil civilization.
No, the Earth has a core, right?
I mean, yeah, eventually. There's this whole hollow layer that's directly below the continental crust and the seabed.
let's just say theoretically we didn't know who they were. Who are they?
Oh, there's a really ancient evil alien, maybe multi-dimensional civilization that lives deep within the Earth's crust and extending into the mantle. The Thonians.
Noted.
We don't like to talk about them, but we have to deal with their incursions really often
They're
because
not ringing a
we are the
bell.
closest to them. So we often have to protect the rest of the world from their incursions, and they have a history of kidnapping Kamarakandans and subjected them to, I don't know, experimentation, weird ritual, something, and the result is these abominations.
Yeesh, that's awful.
They are the agents of the Thonians in our waters.
Can you undo the transformation?
I don't know. I'm just a centurion.
But you're a great centurion.
Thank you. Have you accepted the mermaid's kiss?
Yes, I
All
did.
right. All right. It's a little fizzy, and you feel a little lightheaded. Partly because you're getting more oxygen than you need because you're breathing with your mouth, but also through your new gills.
Boy.
And what had felt like very cold, wet bulkhead underneath you now feels perfectly temperate. So that kind of cold, clammy feeling that you've been experiencing this entire time now feels very comfortable.
Ooh, what did
Cool.
it taste like?
Pop Rocks and Coke.
Ooh,
No, Pop Rocks and Dr. Pepper.
extra flavors.
Yes.
For 23, right?
I don't, and Katila will say, I don't think, Tilly, that this would work on you. You're welcome to try. You are as deserving of that gift as any, especially given what I hear about your performance here. But you seem to not need it. And it is
Yeah,
very
I think I'm
precious.
fine.
All right. Very well.
Well, thank you for the gift. It's appreciated.
So, what happens?
So, were these Phonians the ones who are behind the problem going on currently?
I'm not really sure.
Oh, well, maybe the princess knows.
Probably.
All right. I presume Deadlock at some point arrived to hear the important bits of
Sure.
this conversation.
Sure.
But Deadlock would come in and be like, notice the gills and be like, when did that happen?
They were always there.
They gave that to you from the start. I thought that was the whole reason we went to the center.
Yeah, you just had to get a mermaid kiss.
When did you get a mermaid kiss?
Wouldn't you like to know? I'm kidding.
Kitula will kind of giggle.
And don't
Like
piss
5 minutes
out.
ago.
Wait, they had that the whole time and didn't give it to you from the start?
Because would say we were going to present it to you upon arrival to at Kamarakanda, but because it
There's a
wasn't
whole
necessary
ceremony
until then.
about it.
Yes,
It's one of the bureaucratic.
we would present you. We would present you to our council, and then would offer to give you the mermaid's kiss, and give them a chance to give anyone who wanted to a chance to object. But we're under a little duress here, so we thought it was a good idea to go ahead and take care of it.
I think it would have been a good idea earlier.
Well, we weren't planning
To
on
be
being
honest.
attacked.
Well, you should always plan on being attacked. You can tell by the people on edge here, you guys were expecting something.
I don't know. I'm just a centurion.
Just saying, it's not a good look for you guys.
Well, we have an ancient Kamarakandan saying, it may not translate into your surface dialect, but hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, but I mean, I was asking about this earlier. I think I brought this up earlier. I don't think it was that difficult of a thing to have foresight on, especially if you guys were expecting an attack, and you knew people on the ship couldn't breathe underwater.
I don't think we were expecting that.
We all
I'm
lived,
just saying
we
it
got-
would have been
we
a
got
good
it
safety
now.
protocol for people that can't
Well,
breathe underwater.
Next
we're all
time we
good.
invite a bunch of surface dwellers to come to Kamarakanda, we will keep that in mind. I'll make sure it gets noted in the annals, so in 1,000 years, we'll consider our options.
Yeah, I'm just saying, maybe throw it in the SOP.
Is she always like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they could have died. But
Can you stop
I
talking
get
about
it.
us like
I get
we're
it. It
not
worked
here?
out. Tilly was able to pull through and save them, but they could have died.
Yes. And we
And
didn't
luckily
die.
didn't. So
We didn't die largely thanks to your collective heroics. We are all very impressed. Clearly, the princess chose wisely when she chose you.
We're a great team.
Deadlock's
When we're
gonna
in combat.
bite her tongue instead of being like, I don't think she really chose
away.
us. I think she just was looking for somebody with a power set, but she's not gonna say that.
Ren is beyond frustrated right now. She's just toss her hands up a little bit and walk away.
Look, I said my piece. I just, in the future, I think it was a huge oversight. And
She's gonna
I'm
hold
not super
Deadlock
happy
with
with
her and
that
just be like, drop
situation.
it. Just come stand over here and look at the water.
No,
with
she's not
me."
saying any of this anymore, but she's,
Yeah.
I think she had reason to be a little annoyed that they had this that we could have helped more.
Yeah.
And more efficiently if we had this and not had a chance of dying. in the
Oh, Tilly works so well under pressure.
It's true. It's true. It would have prevented Tilly from the clutch, highly complex manipulation of a vessel and hardlight to protect everyone and get rid of the bad guys. It all worked out in the end.
Yeah, it's all fine. Let's go talk with the princess. She might have
Yes,
time to talk now that we're on.
she does.
Might be a good idea.
It's effectively on autopilot. So you arrive into the command center. There is indeed a skeleton crew because most people are around double checking systems and doing probably like shutdown procedures that weren't done because they did like a crash shutdown. So they're double checking and making sure that everything is fine. But the ship itself is acting on instinct and reflex at this moment. So you can see that it's navigating, but it's kind of doing it in its sleep. It knows where it's going. It's like a horse. It'll just walk home if you give it its head. So she will sit down at a table that is effectively grown out of the deck itself. It stands on kind of coral intertwining structure and then forms this very smooth surface. She will sit down and she will gesture for you all to sit. A sash float down because you're in water.
Yeah, Spectre, doing okay? You got gills.
Yeah, that's fine. Doing great.
It's a weird sensation, Spectre, because it feels warm and nourishing. It is very different from any previous experience of water.
Yeah, that's why I'm not having a complete meltdown. But we're good. Get used to it. I'll be fine.
I assume you have questions, says the princess.
Questions and concerns. Just quick after action review of what
Then like
happened.
whips out a list and just starts rolling.
In the future, I think you should add it to your SOP or whatever you guys have, standard operating procedures. If you're going to take surface dwellers or anyone that can't breathe underwater, maybe present them with, what did you guys call it?
A
The
mermaid's
A mermaid's kiss.
Shore
That's actually what it's
Alira,
called?
the mermaid's
Okay.
kiss.
A mermaid's kiss, or if not that, something equivalent where if something happened, even if you don't present it immediately, have someone there that could present it in an emergency. So, for example, there's a centurion that's been, at least with Spectre a lot, he could have presented it as soon as the emergency happened.
Yes, I will make that recommendation. That's very wise.
Also, we got a little bit of information on what that attack was, but we don't know if it's connected to your current threat that we're going after, or really what the situation is in general.
My mother will have to brief you herself on the full details, but I can tell you what I know. We believe that the Thonians are planning an incursion, first into our realm, and second, ultimately, to the surface. We have, for the past 6,000 years, repelled similar invasions. We believe that they have found something deep in the earth, something ancient, an artifact that enables the enhancement of powers. Specifically, the enhancement, we believe, in this case, of the ability to nullify powers. We believe it is their plan to use this device to create a massive field of power nullification over the entirety of Kramarakanda, snuffing us out in one fell swoop. Then they will be able to ascend to the surface unhindered.
Have you begun any countermeasures or fail-safes? So say that goes off. Are there places people can bunker down in the meantime where they can breathe air to where their powers won't instantly kill them?
Yes, but we won't be able to effectively defend the city.
Right.
And we will
What
be
kind of,
more...
do you guys only rely on powers for defense?
We have a variety of technology, but we haven't adapted to living underwater without our ability to live underwater.
Right.
So we would be at a massive tactical disadvantage.
Well, I know you, at least from what Tilly was telling me, you're more of a constitutional monarchy, but maybe a decision can be made where all hands on deck spin up the military industrial complex and start getting every contractor, mechanical engineer, anyone that can help to start working on that sort of thing. Because even if they don't get it off over the entire city, if they only get a portion, you'll still need people to defend those areas.
Yes.
That can at least hold them off from getting closer.
Such plans are underway, but in some ways are meaningless if we cannot prevent the threat. If we are not able to hold back the Thonians, even if Kamarakanda momentarily survives, the surface will not.
Okay.
So this was an ambush. Did they know why you were traveling? Is it just because of you, or did they know what you were seeking?
That is the most disturbing part. They clearly know more about our plans and what we know about theirs than they should.
So who all knows about these plans?
Even I only know a portion. My mother and her closest 3 advisors are the only ones who see the entire picture. They are above suspicion. But somewhere, someone is feeding information to the enemy. I will tell you this. We believe that the individual who has the ability to nullify powers comes from the surface. Therefore, the Thonians have agents on the surface already. And it's not too much of a leap to assume that they have agents within Kamarakanda itself.
Deadlock gives a really quick look to Tilda.
Yeah.
They both just kind of eye shift towards each other, and
Yeah. Boy, I wonder if you've been reading those files that Impact had about, say, anyone who might know about your family or Kamarakanda. I know you checked them before for Kamarakanda specifically, but I think with this context, it might be.
Yeah, maybe check, or at least this other race, the Cthulhu's.
Sure.
Is that a rule? I don't remember. I think it is. Yeah, plus superior. Oh, I didn't even really care to make this roll.
Oh, there you go.
I would have gladly taken the potential, but plus superior, so 12, 13, 14.
Excellent. So what information do you get on that?
GM will tell you what, if anything. Oh, wait, no, that's on a 10 plus, ask the GM a follow-up question.
Okay, so on a hit, I tell you what?
On a hit, tell the team an important detail you've learned from your studies. On a 10 plus, ask the GM a follow-up question. They will answer it honestly. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so I tell you a thing, then you have a chance to ask a follow-up. What I will tell you is that Impact has had no direct experience with the Thonians. And probably that term doesn't exist anywhere in the records. But you are thinking back to some of the things, because he's always been kind of a paranoid guy. He has long suspected that certain seemingly random events were coordinated by and many random events are coordinated by a variety of shadowy cabals, but he has long suspected that there's some sort of guiding hand, that even massive established evil organizations like Venom are somehow subtly under the sway of something else even more secretive.
Is anything in his files, even if it's unnamed, match the description of what they look like? Because maybe they thought they were alien or something else, or...
Oh, yes. Yes, in fact. Not these outcasts or abominations, because those are effectively warped Kamarakandans. But there was, in Russia, a mine, a scientific endeavor to drill deep into the Earth's crust and eventually into the mantle, The public reason for it being stopped was that it just became too difficult. It was much warmer down there than was anticipated. The stone itself was more like molasses, and it just wasn't, and they just couldn't continue to pour the money into it. There was a secret report by a defector that they had broken through into some sort of chamber at the very bottom of the Earth's crust, and that their sensors were getting very, very strange readings.
Okay, I will relay that information. Just recite what I remember. It's pretty much all we got, at least impacts knowledge of it from our perspective.
Yep. And the name of that the Kola Super Deep Borehole. I think that's right. Yes.
The Kola Super Deep Warhole?
Borehole.
Borehole.
And yes, Impact suspects that they came across something they weren't supposed to know about. But by the time that defector had reached the West, they were quite mad. So it was very difficult to know how reliable their story was. But they probably said something about voices in the depth of the earth. Strange dreams, visions affecting everyone who was working at the borehole. You know.
Just normal things.
Yeah.
Not Cthulhu things.
I mean, Super Cthulhu. That's fine. Every myth has some rooting in factuality, so at least that's what they say. So she briefs you what she knows. She doesn't know the full picture, but she tells you everything that she can. But the net result being that her mother is the only person who will be able to give you all the specifics, if she chooses to do so.
Okay, well, thanks for telling us what you know.
They
guess,
can't
yeah.
access this speedway, right?
She gives you a look like,
Cool.
we believe thanks to your fast action and Deadlock's unusual facility with wielding our royal powers, we have escaped. They cannot use the conduit, and we don't think that they have the ability to catch up, but we are on alert. We should be crossing, however, into Kumarakandan territorial waters within the hour. Tilly, the precise location of Kumarakanda is not clear. It's redacted, but you know enough. You know it's somewhere in the Indian Ocean, and you left from the east coast of North America, so you are going incredibly fast.
Sonic music here.
Yes. So, what scenes, if any, need to happen before we arrive at Kumarakanda?
Probably helping Nyx dry off.
So you call. So it's like, Princess, we've detected a small life form attached to
Probably
the
in some airlock or
attached to the outer
something.
hull.
Oh, that's right. Nyx was on the ship. I let her in.
Okay. Yes. And then shake.
Like,
How are
shit,
you
cool.
alive?
I'm a ninja. What do you want?
Your cat is so much cooler than any of us are ever going to be.
Look, there's scuba gear.
Yeah.
Sized for a cat.
You start poking around in her little ninja gi or whatever that's called, and she's like all kinds of stuff up in there.
It's like a bag of holding. You just like pick her up and start shaking her and just
I
all this
assume they
random
gotta
crap
have some
falls
kind of
out.
seafood, right? Cats eat seafood.
We're vegetarian.
Oh. Well, cats are not vegetarian. That might be a problem.
They'll get out a little container and then tap 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 on the lid. Nick's just come forward and they peel it open and plop it down into a dish. It's vegetable paste, but it's high in protein and it's fish flavored. Nick loves it.
Okay,
I mean,
as long as she likes it. I mean, there's a whole argument about trying to make pets vegan, animal cruelty, and whatever. But
Well, they can manufacture
they've got
complete proteins. quite
clear
easily.
better stuff than we do.
Yeah.
That's where that might actually be feasible.
Yes. We call it fancy feast. It's generally reserved for visiting dignitaries, but I think Nyx qualifies.
She does love Fancy Feast.
So, anything else? Any let's resolve the Tilly opening up in the multiple comforts and supports.
Oh, I thought I did a little when I said they're very supportive and it was scary.
Well, that's reporting facts, but
That's true.
I think you have moments to share.
I do.
Yeah, if you wish to.
Well, I got to because I already took the benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how does Tilly feel?
Tilly actually feels like this ship is has weirded her out. I think we can have a conversation. Like
Okay.
she's sitting, she's like, it's a little weird. It's a virtual AI. And I'm not a virtual AI or anything, but you can interface with it. And they said it was weird that robots solve problems, like people make them solve problems. And I was made by Light Tech Industry, but they don't make me solve. I'm just doing it because it helps my mom, right? Like I'm just helping her out, right? It's not because Light Tech is making me do it. Like they wouldn't tell me to stop or anything, or like replace me or anything like that, right?
Tilly, it's part of your programming to be helpful, to be as human as you can be.
Ren, that's not
And you're
exactly
you're doing it technically of your own free will.
Technically, it's doing a lot of lifting there.
It nullifies a lot of that. I think
Wait.
she's not.
I don't think that Fren is phrasing this very well, Tilly. I think that the basic thing comes down to, like, if you wanted to quit, could you? And do you want to? I mean, I think we've been through enough and you've learned enough going through all of this with us that you could decide for yourself. Now, if like Tech does come in and say, no, you can't stop, then that's a problem, and then, like, we'll figure that out for you. Like, don't worry, we'll
Well,
go
they
to that
couldn't-
for you.
they couldn't make me stop. But that I am in charge of my own destiny. You're right. I am. So
Yes, you are.
I'm doing what I want to, and that's helping out my mom and stuff. and she works
Yeah.
for Lytech, and that's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have free will.
Yeah.
You're a fully realized artificial intelligence. You're not just some VI or
Okay,
just
but it's a
programming.
virtual artificial intelligence, and it doesn't exactly have free will. I don't know if it has really coalesced into a consciousness per se, because it's more of like an interconnected system, but it's weird. It's a weird distinction to call out as far as don't enslave robots because they solve problems, but also here's our organic virtual AI that, I mean,
It might be
They're
more
full of
animalistic.
hypocrisies.
So it's not it's intelligent, and just like a horse or something, it could make its own decisions technically, but it's doesn't want for things of someone that has
I assume there's a
Self-actualization.
beneficial relationship between
I mean,
the ship and the Kamara Condens as well.
they
so-
obviously take care of them.
yeah.
They
So-
they do seem to care. I mean, you see, you have seen, or as you're having this conversation, you see Kamar Condens, like patting it and double checking it. They do seem to care about it. But I would say, Tilly, given what you've said, it does. So as a organic virtual intelligence, the question is how much of its desire to follow the instructions of and partner with the Kamar Condens is its choice or just its nature. And since they are in control, presumably, of its nature, does that eliminate the question of choice? And then I think it's intriguing for you to then extend that to, well, I'm orders of magnitude more complex, but I also was created for a purpose. And I feel like I'm deciding to do those things, but I'm also doing things that are aligned with my programming. So to what extent? You have learned the lesson that you are in control of your own destiny, but it sounds like there's part of you that's questioning.
Yes.
You've done
It's
delinquent stuff with
obviously-
us, though.
Hmm?
You've done delinquent stuff with us, though.
Well,
Like me
yes.
and Rez.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's standard teen procedure.
Not always.
I mean, it's
Media
literally a
seems to
procedure.
suggest
Tilly has
media seems to
flowcharts.
suggest there's a definite procedure. I had the list. I checked it. It went exactly as one would think. Out of character, this is definitely where Tilly eventually is going to be like, well, I can make this into a consciousness, and then they're going to have like a ship that's just going to do whatever. This will be fine.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. It's how Tilly saves the ocean.
But yeah, I mean, you do you, Tilly. Whatever makes you happy. We're here to support you, help you do whatever you need us to do.
Well, what would make me happy right now is if we all try this dish. Look at it.
Yes.
Yes, they will have brought more refreshments for you to enjoy. I will say there's probably some sort of Katie waving in the corner when no one's looking. Spectre comes over. There's probably some post-victory celebration smooching.
Gotta move fast.
Yeah, this is moving
Yeah.
kind of fast. Should we be worried?
It's just
Do you
another
think she's gonna
type
die
of
or something?
mermaid's kiss, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that, the effects are going to last, so need to get some more.
Yeah.
Also super excited because I am not feeling as motion sick as I normally do in these situations. So actually being able to down food.
Yeah. You can have whatever emotional and psychological situation, but physiologically,
Yeah.
you have zero motion sickness.
It's so nice.
And I will say that it is Spectre and Katie in the lower observation bay. As you're, whatever. And Katie will spin you around and stand behind you with her hands on your shoulders. And you are the first of the party to see as this conduit that you've been traveling through dives down another kind of cliff. But there is a momentary shudder, and there's a it's almost like a split. There's a little kind of portal before the conduit dives down, and the ship splooshes out and then hangs momentarily over this vast sunken area, and below you see these huge spires of this futuristic kind of cyberpunky but very organic looking city, just stretching as far as you can see with your enhanced underwater eyes. It is beautiful and also somewhat intimidating in its size. And then you can feel very subtly some buzzing and humming through the floor that you're standing on as the ship begins to wake up and a few lights come on. Then you can feel it gather its force and start to make its way into the heart of Kamarakanda. And I think we'll stop there, don't you think?
Seems good.
Sounds good to me.
Cool. Awesome. Well, you made it. You're here.
Yay! We didn't drown.
You did.
didn't
Now you
drown.
can't.
Yay!
I didn't explode this time.
Yes.
This time.
You probably want to do something to get rid of a few, like maybe
Nah,
one more
I'm
condition.
I'm just going to explode, man.
I was like,
Okay.
yeah, meta, I feel
I
like
gotta
we're
wait
trying to
out
get
of this.
explode.
That's true. I mean, you can take 2 conditions and not explode at this point.
Yes.
It's just the one after that. If you have to take a condition, you go boom. Cool. Awesome. Well, you survived a deadly attack and are arriving at Kamarakanda as heroes. So well done. Well done. Cool. Let's go around and do the thing, and be sure to do the end of session questions. Let's do Spectre first.
Cool. I am 90 Tough Love, or Tougher than some of the writing nickname. I'm also writing streamer on Twitch. Sometimes I'll get back into a schedule one day, maybe. I have been Spectre, and I think Spectre feels closer to the team because we were doing a lot of cool team bonding and we worked well together to solve that problem. I think that influence is going to go to Deadlock because, like, even though it's a little bit like, well, hey, it's all good, we live, like, it means a lot to Spectre that Deadlock still cares. So that's where that'll go, and then I'll clear my guilty condition.
Lovely.
Go Tilly.
All right. So I'm Misha _lesson3 on Twitch, or at Mishwea on Twitter or Tumblr. You can see some fan art in our Discord. There might be more. We'll see. And for the end of session moves, I think Tilly grew into her own image of herself because of the conversation she just had with everybody, and also she did a lot of cool robot stuff. So that seemed pretty neat. For the label shifting, I think, let's see. I think I want to go freak up because I feel like that's still a thing. I can connect with this weird ship, and mundane down because I am too cool. So ready to unleash my powers even more, ready to start that ship revolution. Go ahead, Ren.
Hi, I'm the original Zodi. You can find me here. I play here. This is it. Sometimes you'll find me in Juice's chat, or anyone else who streams, but for the most part, I'm here. I play Ren, and she's still going through some stuff. She's learning how to grow. So I am going to say, see, this one was kind of tough because she had a little bit from everything. But
I mean, I would say
going-
either probably grow closer or grow into your own image. 'Cause you made your own name and stuff now.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So when you were the harbinger, that wasn't by choice.
Right.
And when you were the soldier, that wasn't by choice. That was a consequence.
Yep.
And in shifting to the bull, it seems like you're taking control.
Yeah. So she's definitely growing into herself.
Okay.
And at the same time, in that growth, she's learning a lot from the people who influence her the most. Give me just a second, okay? Because I'm talking. Sorry, I completely forgot to mute.
No worries.
I thought I had pressed the button. She's learning from Deadlock. I had mentioned earlier, she's picking up on the martial art aspects of things and basic hand-to-hand combats from sparring with her. With Val, she's learning how to just be a friend, and it's extremely difficult for her to do because she does have the emotions for her. And once she fully gets over Val, then she's gonna start making fun of Val about the whole Katie thing, and every time they do like their little kissy stuff, she's gonna be like, ugh, gross. And then with Tilly, it's she's still not 100% sure on Tilly. Like, she considers Tilly a good friend, and would go to the ends of the universe, depths of the sea for Tilly, but at the same time, she's still learning how to interact with Tilly, because Tilly is a creation, not a human, but she's trying to rewire her brain to see Tilly as a humanoid rather than just a robot. And in doing that, and she's learning a lot about herself, and now that she's taking control of her own pathing and basically telling Aegis to shove it, she's well on her way, and will eventually figure out where that way is going. It may not be a good way, but it's going someplace. So yeah, we'll go with grow into her own image.
Shift one up and one down.
I think we are going to shift down danger. Maybe.
I was going to say, so you're as a bull, danger is your primary, and you have the defender, which means that you can defend with danger. So I think mechanically shifting danger down, probably not the smartest.
Probably less of a freak because you.
Yeah, we'll go with freak. We'll set freak to 0, and then I guess we'll move mundane up.
Or superior, either one.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, SJ.
Good question. I feel like we did work well as a team, even though we had to split sometimes. We were good at taking direction and still operating separate but together. So I'm between grow closer to the team and into own image, just because I think Deadlock is starting to see she's underestimated herself a little bit because she I think last series was struggling a lot with using her abilities, copying people, kept failing the rolls, and also we forgot mechanically that it's you choose one or the other, not taking condition and fail. Whoops.
We'll learn how to play this game someday.
So she was feeling really insecure about her abilities for that. But then after this, now she's like, oh, I'm actually a force to be reckoned with. And, she's actively, like, I don't want to say chosen one, but, like she is the one that can make a difference here to where it's all on her. Who doesn't have... But I think, yeah, sure, we'll do that. And I think she chilled out a lot more this time.
Yeah.
So I'll probably move danger down one.
You mean by which you mean she chilled out at all? Which is a lot more.
Yeah. And probably freak, because she's literally a Kamara Condon essentially right now.
Yeah.
And definitely relying way more on her power set than she is her impact training right now.
Yep. Awesome. Cool. Cool. So, yes, interesting and impactful interpersonal and also action situation going on, and all will be revealed. And the crisis at hand will come to a head probably pretty quickly in the final third of issue 7 of Teen Justice Academy, coming up on Tuesday. So no one has any long time to wait. So be thinking about what you plan to do, but it's probably going to be fast and furious. So we can, and that's going to be starting at what, Mish, 8 p.m. Central?
8 p.m. Central, yeah.
On Tuesday. Cool. Same channel and all that good stuff. Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for playing, and thanks everyone for showing up and hanging out with us. Thanks for dropping those raid calls in, and thanks everyone on the YouTubes later. By the way, if you just happen to see this as the first episode of Teen Justice Academy, you should probably go look at the Teen Justice Academy playlist, because there are 6 previous issues that will detail how this team came together, why they keep changing their names every 5 seconds, how they keep breaking up as a team and then coming back together and breaking up and coming back together, all the backbiting and drama and angst, and then also the love and the smooching and all the other stuff that happens. So it's a lengthy story, so go take some time. Take a look at that. Take a look at C+ Comics, where there's a lot of fan art, some of which, or a fair amount of which, is Teen Justice Academy related. And also head over to the Discord, where you can see all the things and share stories and pictures of dice and cool books and other stuff. That's where we hang out. I think we should go hang out with John, because Initiative League is up. They're basically never up when we are. They are currently playing some good old Dungeons and Dragons. They are good friends of ours. So I think we should go say hi to them, drop those raid calls in, give them some love, and cheer them on. And I will drop this in. It looks like it is rolling. Cool. Yeah. Almost good to go. Just waiting for it to let up. Cool. Well, thanks one last time, everyone, for joining, and come back and see us in just a few short days to see how this rolls up into victory or horrible defeat for the entire planet. No pressure. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.